Welcome back, guys, to Sports Prophecy TV, and I'm your host, Jay Taylor. And tonight, we're just going to dive into the fixtures of the upcoming Gold Cup 2023 this summer. We just want to break down some of the group stages and some of the matches. We have some prelim matches, and we just want to see how it's going to shape up, how Jamaica fit into the mix, which one of these top teams who could potentially get upset in the first round of the competition. I think JD from IMAX TV should be joining me shortly. I don't know if Richard will be able to make it, but yeah, I'm waiting for one of those individuals where we could just dive through some of these group stages. As we see in Group A, we have United States as the big hitter and Jamaica alongside Nicaragua. These are the three teams currently in the these are the three teams that are in the first round of the competition. Sorry about that, guys. Just got distracted. Just dropped the link. Yes, in Group B, we have Mexico, Haiti, Honduras, Qatar. That's an interesting group as we see all four contenders are already placed in that group. And then we go to Group C, where we have Costa Rica, El Salvador, and the winners of the prelim will enter that group. And we have JD from IMAX Sports. IMAX, is it IMAX Football? No, I
IMAX
don't.
football, yes. IMAX football, yeah.
Can you? Am I hearing you now, JD?
Yes, man, I am hearing you well, Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you well,
Oh,
JD. And we have some lovely groups here, JD. And we have the prelim groups, which starts June 16th. And we also have the group stage for the teams that are already qualified on the 24th. JD, we're going to kick off just in the prelim because we don't want to hold up any traffic on this one. Trinidad and Tobago versus Guadeloupe. As we know, Trinidad has recently played Jamaica in two friendly encounters. Based on your evaluation of the Trinidad team in that competition, how do you think they're shaping up in this one?
mm. So Trinidad had some problems. They had around two to
Mhm.
three players out with injury, and those are
Yeah,
all foul players.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
They are not sure to come through. They can create from back midfield and defensive third, attacking phase, wide phase. It's okay, but essentially they tend to have problems from time to time. If they don't fix that, I think in the second set of games they might have problem. I think they should have enough to pass. Guadeloupe is a tricky team, but I still think it's going to be tough between them. But I think with those injuries, it makes it even closer. With full squad, I think Trinidad should get the nod over Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe is a good team, but I still would pick Trinidad over them. But because of those injuries, it makes it very close. You might see a 55 to 45% game here, slightly in favor of Trinidad. So you know that Guadeloupe can take it. Guadeloupe is the same Guadeloupe that played Jamaica. And to be honest, Jamaica never look far superior than them.
Mhm.
Alvas Powell and those guys got caught out the whole time in that game, but Jamaica still came out victorious 2-1. Yes, so it's the same Guadeloupe. So it might just be a tough game for Trinidad. I know our Soca friends might not reach the final round. It's going to be tough though. Yes, but I would slightly give Trinidad. I don't know about you. What say you on that one?
Not with that said, JD, I want to also ask you. Guadeloupe is a country where football should be a little bit more. Um, I would say the quality of the football should be a bit better. Where you have a player like JJ Anelka came from Guadeloupe and other top players. Why do you think Guadeloupe hasn't really reached that point where they are considered one of the premium teams in CONCACAF?
They are the premium teams. I because you have a lot of teams in CONCACAF. You have a lot of teams because even though they are recruiting okay. They have good players. Phaeton is one of their main players, and Phaeton is a
Hmm.
deadly forward. He will give you all sorts of problem because he gave Jamaica all sorts of problem as well. So I know, and Jamaica is a better team, full strength, than Trinidad. To be honest, in my opinion, still maybe others will think different, but that's my opinion, and that's I think Jamaica is better than Trinidad with even the slightly phased out team. I still believe so. Maybe Trinidad have better schooling and everything. That is true, but
Hmm.
I think the players are slightly better. So, with the question you ask about Guadeloupe, Guadeloupe recruit good, good from the French side. They brought in a lot of
Hmm.
players on the French side, but it's just. It takes time, you will take time to find the right pieces and gel them together. Maybe they are already gel now and they are going to come out and look quality. So that's why I said 45 to 55. I don't try to go higher than that for Trinidad because I truly believe that Guadeloupe can win this game. That's why I never jump higher.
Okay, okay, because I'm leaning towards that as well in a JD because I'm thinking Guadeloupe is they're very unpredictable. They will give you stages in the game where they look like they can do something, but they just revert to being Guadeloupe again. So ultimately, your pick in this game is Trinidad.
Slight Trinidad, but I would not be surprised if Guadeloupe actually beat Trinidad in this one because Guadeloupe might have faith on them and they would be the best forward on the field on the day, and if and they're an organized team. So more you keep asking the question. I'm, I'm moving towards a more 50-50. Guadeloupe is not a soft team because I remember the whole they gave Jamaica all sorts of problem and we had to dig deep to even get a win in the Gold Cup. We played them in the last Gold Cup in
Yes.
yes, man,
Yeah.
it's them we play, and most of them will be playing again. So they are going to be better this time around. So I don't think it's going to be a walkover. We might see Trinidad getting knocked out here. People in the chat, what say you? We might actually see Trinidad getting knocked out here. Why it would have been tough, but Guadeloupe is not that easy. That's a tough one for Trinidad.
JD, I'm actually going Guadeloupe in this game. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm going Guadeloupe. I think Trinidad is going to go into this game feeling like they're a bit superior and go into an out and out battle with Guadeloupe. And if Trinidad goes into an out and out battle with Guadeloupe, they lose. Not because Guadeloupe is the better team. I think Guadeloupe has more unpredictable players in the attacking areas of the pitch. If you look at how Trinidad played Jamaica, they played very safe. They stopped the defense and then tried to hit Jamaica on the counter. I think they're going to be a little bit more brave against Guadeloupe,
Mhm.
and I think that's where the danger comes
Yeah,
in.
but remember, I gave you the fact that they have injured players, injured players. So I don't think they're going to be, and I don't think they're going to disrespect Guadeloupe. I think they're going to show Guadeloupe equal respect as Jamaica, that
Mhm.
Jamaican squad, because Guadeloupe team is better than the Jamaican squad that we picked.
You
If
think?
we play Jamaica,
Yes, I agree. I agree.
if we play Guadeloupe with that Jamaican squad, we play Trinidad, they are beating us.
I think we might
Because
lose.
we played a better, we use a better squad than the one that we used, and they gave us all sorts of problem. So we can't. I don't think Trinidad will think that it's a soft team. No, no, man, no, man. But I get what you're saying. Let we know, people. Let we know. We saw
Yeah.
Lansley, Dr. Dreyful, CPT Rico, Kevin G. All right, yeah, man. Let me know who you think on that one. I slightly favor Trinidad. JT went for Guadeloupe. All right, that's the first one. All
So,
right.
so guys, we have a tiebreaker here, guys. We have a tiebreaker here because we have JD has Trinidad and I have Guadeloupe. So the fans have to be the tiebreaker. Guys, you have to tell us who do you choose to go through in this game, Trinidad versus Guadeloupe, because we need a tiebreaker. JD thinks that Trinidad will go through. We actually need somebody else on the panel because me and JD might end up disagreeing and balancing out each other. So we
Yes.
need somebody else as the tiebreaker.
Yuriko said Trinidad. So he's giving
Okay.
Trinidad the edge. Maybe others will come in and people will come in after and in the comment section to give their take as well. Yeah, man. People will come in, man, and after. Don't worry, don't worry. It's a build
All
up.
right.
People smash the like
So
button as soon as they come in. Because remember, the like button gives the visibility, and we want J Taylor channel to reach up there. All right, yeah, man. So if you have 17 here, definitely just get it 17 likes as fast as possible. All right, yes, don't wait on it. I will try and share it in my Discord as well. Yes, because I think
Okay.
people come over from the Discord directly. So I will say, okay, yeah, man. People need to smash the like button and come over. Quality content. This, yeah, man. Trini. Okay, so everybody's saying think a better team. All right, CPD record. Don't. I think I agree with J Taylor and this Guadeloupe team. You know, Trinidad.
Trinidad, I think Trinidad played a bit too cagey to me, JD, and I feel like they might just think that Guadeloupe is not that good and go into bless up yourself, know yourself. I think that they might think that Guadeloupe is not that good and end up in some kind of out and out football with Guadeloupe. Because if you looked at Guadeloupe play Jamaica in that Gold Cup, there was times where they kind of scared us.
What? I was Phaeton with a trap up advance.
But yeah, there was times where I'm like, wait, this can get very dicey for Jamaica.
Yes, so
However, do you think, JD, a lot of the fans are reverting back to the old football narrative of like the Trinidad has the name and say
mhm.
Trinidad wins this game?
No. I think they saw Trinidad and realized that Trinidad has a foundation. Trinidad
Mhm.
had stronger players to bring in as well, So don't act like they don't have stronger players. Maybe not like Jamaica, but they have a good schooling and everything. And um, maybe you are coming from the standpoint of they could be you're 18 and Trinidad because it's our rivals. So you
Yeah, Trinidad. So we leave that game until somebody else hop on the panel and be the tiebreaker. The fans, because I think a lot of the fans might just be thinking that Trinidad is going to win this game, JD, based on historical prominence or like stardom. We would say
yes,
that
but you are
Trinidad
trying
is
to
the.
avoid to give Trinidad. The people say Trinidad, it is
All right.
Trinidad.
Trinidad. All right. Guyana and Grenada, I think this game might end 10-10. Might be a game with
And
20 goals. Like these two
no,
teams
no, no.
are.
No. I think Guyana will win against Grenada. I saw Guyana
Mhm.
played Suriname. They posed Suriname some problems with their passing and their swift build up. So they could, and all passing teams, even when they try to go route one, sometimes they have more composure on the ball and more balance, so they can always win games easier. So I think Grenada will get beaten by Guyana. So Guyana will be going to the next round in this one. So Guyana will be advancing from that one based on my analysis watching the team with Suriname and other teams as well. I watch most of these teams. Yes, so I'm going with Guyana. Guyana will
Yeah.
win this one, maybe outright. Guyana win this one clearer than Trinidad would win over Guadeloupe for sure.
Yeah, I have Guyana winning this game because if Guyana has improved on anything that they have done in like the previous years, because even games that they competed with Jamaica a little bit, where I thought that Guyana needs some pieces, and I know someone who's also playing for Guyana who played for Trinidad. He came here and played in Denmark in the second division, and he switched legions to Guyana. He's playing on the wing. He's playing a winger and potential right back. But I think Guyana should win this game easily. But I still think this game might have a lot of goals in there. Just one of those first round shootout. Um, no, we have Odin Roy. Okay, all right, Odin. Just before we hop over, Odin, you don't have to elaborate. The Trinidad,
You need to
go
read the
ahead,
comments
JD.
them as well you need to learn YouTube. You need to read the people and comment the
Read the
people
comments
spend their
there.
time.
Okay. All right, let's start from Dr. Joyful say USA. When we talk about Arsenal, um, Dr. Joyful just know if you get trouble. Like Dr. Joyful behave like someone who would put
No, we're gonna get to that. Dr. Driver, that's why you're gonna learn about the other teams. So if a team should come in Jamaica group, you would know how strong the team is.
the
That's
team
how you learn.
is. Yeah. So let's just read a few comments. Kevin J says Trini slightly. Blessing JD. That's yourself. CPT said out of two. Come on, JD. Trinidad have it. We in the building, says Ian Bowen. It's Dr. Joyful again. Based on what JD said, TNT or two key players, but I think it will be close. said Stuart. Sian says Guyana 2-0. Lansley say I never cheer for Trinidad and I think Guadeloupe continue recruiting. So Guadeloupe win for me. So you see, I think is Lansley pastor?
Yeah, man, it's pasta, man. It's
Oh, big
pasta.
up yourself, Pastor, and feel free to jump on whenever. So Pastor kind of agree with me with Guadeloupe on
Yes,
this
but that's
one.
what I said. People will come here and agree because people watch both teams and they watch them against Jamaica. So it's hard for me to convince them that Trinidad will beat them. That's what I said, you know? Yeah.
Okay, okay. Stuart again says Guyana 3-1. Those two games, Odin, who do you think will take that one? Just Guadeloupe, Trinidad, and Guyana, Grenada.
Um, would I say Guadeloupe and Trinidad leading
Okay.
out that group?
How is those two teams gonna come out and they're playing each other?
No, no, four of them in our group. Hold on, let me see.
No, you have
Trinidad,
Guyana
Guadeloupe.
versus Grenada and Trinidad
Oh, you're
versus
talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
preliminary to get to
Yeah,
the
the
World Cup.
prelim.
Oh, me
Yeah.
just
Yeah, of
realized.
course. Then they have to play.
So honestly, I think Guadeloupe will make it, and then um, most likely um Grenada because they've been recruiting too. To my
Jeez.
understanding.
Yes. Since
Okay.
now I put you on the spot, Odin, tell me a player from Grenada. Can you see them a recruit? Because you know, you are the first one me ever hear say
Yeah.
Grenada going a football game, brother.
Well, according to a YouTube video I was watching the
Mhm.
other day, there's a list of Caribbean countries that's been recruiting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And Grenada is on the list. And I know of one Grenadian player in the English Premier League. I just don't remember his name.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, all right. Fair enough. Big up
Well,
yourself,
well, well.
CN boy.
I
Thank
don't
you.
think Grenada winning it though. I think Guyana winning it. I think Guyana is playing a little bit better football for me. You know, so I will stick. I'm not gonna sway by you and your recruiting.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
think I think the player is actually on Brentford too, you know.
Okay.
If I'm
isn't
not
that Ivan Tony?
nah. Come on now.
No, but does he have Grenadian heritage?
No, that's not Ivan. I'm not
But
talking. If
Ivan
the player
Tony
I'm
does
talking
have
about is
Grenadian
a right back.
heritage, right? Or Saint
The
Kitts or one of them placed there. I
I think
the
think.
he's from
player is
yeah.
yeah, the player is a defensive player.
Okay,
To
okay,
what I
okay. All right.
understand.
I will
Yeah.
check it. I will check it.
Well, all right. Let's go to Martinique. Martinique is a French island as well, I think.
Yes.
Martinique,
Yes.
I think it's a French island. Saint Lucia is predominantly cricketing island. I don't know of Saint Lucia making any major moves in football, even like on the radar for me. So this one I would go with just off the strength of the French connection again. Here, I would go with Martinique. So I'm just only going off the French connection
No,
here,
but
JD and
I have
Ode.
to
That's
say
Yeah,
it.
here,
your British term
yeah,
about French
it,
connection, you know, easy, you know.
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with French connection.
Mm-hmm.
Martinique is a very very good team. They play quality football, passive football, and they have good pieces there. They played Costa Rica. And they caused Costa Rica all sorts of problem. It took a red card down, and it took for Costa Rica to beat them 1-0. No, 2-1 because they came back. I think what Contreras came on and scored, and they who again came on. Somebody else came on. One of the young kids them came on and scored as well. So, um, they are not a soft team. Martinique is not a soft team. I think Martinique is strong over Saint Lucia. I think Martinique win this one over 3 goals.
Okay.
Yes, I think
Oh,
they are the outright favorites for this game over St. Lucia. For me,
okay.
still. All right. No, people don't take my analysis, because I'm doing my research. Make sure you guys have your spot on analysis, to battle mine. But I am going for Martinique. Strong, strong.
Who do you got winning this one, Odin?
Well, I didn't do any in research on either
So you got a
Martinique
team
or St.
information?
Lucia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't do any research on either, but all right. I can predict Suriname and Puerto Rico though. Even though I feel like Puerto Rico shouldn't be playing in this competition because they're still a part of the United States. They're better off putting another team there because US players can actually go down and play for Puerto Rico, which doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, so you're going for who do you go for in this game? Who do you have
Suriname,
win?
Suriname.
Okay, so you have Suriname winning this game. Suriname, JD. I want to hear JD's team. Is this the game that JD's team, Suriname, gets the big upset in the first
No,
game of the
no, but let me
prelim? The
let me
big
give you.
JD. Listen, JD said to me the other day, "How may have top five in a CONCACAF and we not have the top dog out of Suriname on the list." So
You know, you for
elaborate,
sure,
JD.
for sure you're biased in JT, like for sure you're biased. You know, say the man make the top player in the Bundesliga, like the one of the best player them in the best 11. Him get it there. So it's so life funny. You know want put him in a CONCACAF, you know, but him good enough to make the Bundesliga, but him can't make your CONCACAF. So me never did right. Me never did right. So but before you go anywhere, you have Regan Charles Cook in value at 800,000 and he's at Cassiopen. All right,
Mhm.
so he's from Grenada. So Grenada do have players there with good market value, and it might be a challenging one. So Odin, he has a point because we have Maggie at Cassiopen and he's not playing, and Jean Charles does play majority of the games at Cassiopen and doing very well in the Belgian Pro League. 6 goals, 2 assists in 31 games, and he's a fair starter with a high
Yeah.
market value. He only played only 5 games for them, so it's not like he's there for the longest time, you know.
Okay, so you do have Suriname winning this one, right?
Over Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
JD,
yes.
but JD, quick question. What if overnight USA say, you know what? We are saying we B team, go down to Puerto Rico and just sub them out to play for Puerto Rico. Where you think I got happen?
I still would go for Suriname. Yes,
So,
because you know
so
why?
that's
Because look, Mexico try used not a big team because that was an overreach because majority of those players are quality players and they played us as well. Majority of those players played Jamaica and people excuse that one, but we know we like to use those things. So and Suriname matched Mexico and should have been winning the game by a good margin, just poor finishing on the night. So I think if they can replicate anything like that, and every time we see Suriname, for me, they keep on improving, improving, improving. So I don't think Puerto Rico should challenge Suriname. If Suriname wants to come up on the big level, they should be winning this game comfortable. You get me?
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
you can't
yeah.
play Mexico that good and should have won the game outright. Even the Mexican coach say they should have won the game
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
amount of chances they created and then turn up against Puerto Rico and can't win it. No, man. I'm going to call out Suriname if they make
But
one win.
you see, JD, so this is the thing, like, I don't want to offend the Suriname fans. Like,
No, man.
Suriname is this team that shows all the potential in the world to be
Mhm.
better, but they just keep not making that next step. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if Suriname get beat by Puerto Rico, I wouldn't be surprised.
No,
But
me that be
Suriname
very
should win
surprised.
the game. No, Suriname should win the game. If you look at the
No, but
female, yeah,
No, but that is very unfair on you in a JT. You know why? Because
yeah.
every time Suriname played the other team, I'm going to give you some matches that Suriname played. Every time they played, I saw them play Nicaragua. They defeated Nicaragua. Should have even been more comfortable. And Nicaragua is a team that's in our group and is a team that can cause anybody problem. So they beat teams. You are just not. You just want them to come in and beat up United States and Jamaica. And
No,
remember,
no, no, no.
if you remember them pretty much dominated us in Suriname, in that game, the only thing say we get the 1 goal back, and they were wasteful again, So that's why they never won that game as well. And we could have won it in the end. So stop acting like they don't put on good performances. They put on good performances every single time they played Jamaica. They played played Mexico good, and they played Costa Rica good as well. So I just believe that they need that extra oomph to get them over the line, just like how Jamaica trying their best to get themselves over the line, but at a higher level in their development than Suriname. So I think it's a fair thing if if you have questions over them because they never did what you wanted them to do, you expect them to come out and blow people out the water. So I understand that, but I think they should be passing Puerto Rico if they really want to be considered as a solid team. JT, to be honest, and I'm going to stick with my Suriname. As you say, my
Yeah.
team. I'm going to stick with my team.
And JD, I'm not saying that I think Suriname should blow people out the water. What I think about is the potential that Suriname shows in games. There are moments in games where Suriname looks so good on the football. I think Suriname, to me, plays the most solid, like I
The
would
most
say,
attractive football.
ball possession football in CONCACAF. Almost, if you look at it, to be honest,
Yes,
when Suriname is clicking, they look very good on the
yeah, but
football.
that can't win. That can't win CONCACAF because you have to have physicality in it. The region is full with physicality, and that's what I think they are mixing now. So
Missing, yeah.
and they're adding the players them now because you have the couple them came in, the Ilderman them came in that is more stronger. Gravenberch is like a brick wall. Maybe he's up there with Mikel Antonio with strength. You get me? Yes. So they brought in those players to kind of figure out how they're gonna balance the physicality. At the back, Abena, solid enough, not the strongest, to be honest. But no, man. Abena is solid enough as a centre back, but the strength he brings, the physicality he brings, and they have more people coming in with the physicality. So I said, let's give them the opportunity this time, and then you will see. But I will go for them to pass Puerto Rico, and that should be easier. All right. Yes, for me, I have my list, so go ahead. Who you going for,
Okay.
audience?
Like me say, me pick Suriname, but I was just being hypothetical with the USA B team slash C team because I know there were some talks of using some players at a certain point. Now as for the next one, I would say Curacao over Saint Kitts and Nevis, and then French Guiana over Saint Martin.
So why you keep on make two bets fast enough?
Yeah, I don't understand why you do that, and we have even got into the game. Just hold on a little bit,
Okay, my
because you
bad,
did come
my
in
bad.
late the first time, we didn't make you do a rapid fire, so you know have to do a rapid fire on each game. Um,
Okay.
Curacao, guys, Curacao is this. This is the other team that a lot of people think is a dark horse team. To be honest, a lot of
How
people think
how you
that
fight against the Netherlands team them? So what kind of bad man you going with the Netherlands team that big man?
Saint Kitts and Nevis. We are talking about JD.
No, what Curacao do you? What them do you in Netherlands? Make you fight against the Netherlands team them.
No. I'm actually no Curacao. I'm actually on the side of Curacao right now.
Yes, of course.
So
Just
when you're talking about Saint Kitts, right?
no, man. As Curacao, me think you talk about yeah. Like you want to say this is the next team where nah
No,
do it.
man. Me I said in Curacao is that team that a lot of people, even myself, would consider a dark horse team. This is a team that I think can not just win in the prelim. I think this team can actually create some upset some games in the regular group stage.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you looked at even how they played Jamaica, they gave us a
Yeah,
run
they're
for
not
our
Jamaica.
money.
Not Jamaica the last time they played Jamaica. They're not Jamaica.
Yes, so this is not. I'm not going to ever sleep on this team, and I think any group that this team Curacao ends up in, the whole dynamics of that group is gonna change. Trust
Okay,
me.
well, let's see. For me, Curacao, they're good. It seems like I am the one eating on Curacao. They're good. They're good. But I think with Goosey Link left by sickness, I don't think they have added more pieces there. You get me? They brought in new coaches and stuff, and the games never really went well for them. Maybe they are still working on their systems, but once they do get it right, I do agree with you. They're going to be a tough team to fight with 100%. But for me, don't think Saint Kitts will cause them that problem. I think they will pass Saint Kitts pretty easily. This is not Argentina where they can get 6 love and them stuff. The Messi and those guys give anybody 6, So that is like a false score. But over St. Kitts. I think they will set it straight against St. Kitts, and they might give St. Kitts 6-0 in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
They
think this
might give
team
them.
will hand down a proper beating to St. Kitts. And the good thing is, I don't think they could end up in the group with Jamaica.
Yes, man. Of course, I in the group with Jamaica. Them a go a prelim 9. We have the winners of
Oh, it's
prelim 9.
prelim 9 we have.
Yes,
Oh,
man.
Wait,
because I'm
Curacao?
Yes, man. It's
okay,
course. So we'll
okay.
win the group, man.
Right, so that
Prelim
means
9. I thought we had prelim 7.
You
so
know, man.
so
We are
you know
prelim
you,
9, man. It's
you
right
know
here on
what
the
this
screen.
means, right?
What that means?
This means so since Curacao
Jesus
is
Christ.
gonna end up in our group, this means that if Jamaica doesn't pick a good overall team, we might not go as
Make it
far
up
as
to the
we
group.
want to
Oh
go.
God.
Okay, so that yeah,
This
yeah,
is
that's
it just got worse, JD. In Curacao in our group, it's the official group of death.
No.
Yeah,
For,
what you mean?
JD,
What
this
third
would have
world
been
talk
this
about?
almost the strongest
Look,
group
no.
in the
Look,
entire tournament
no,
outside the
man.
Mexico Haiti group.
Let me say you have Mexico, Haiti, Honduras, Qatar. That is a mad group. But I do agree with you. And don't sleep on El Salvador, Panama, Costa Rica group, because all of them are close to each other. So don't sleep on them, to be honest. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with it's going to be a stronger group if Curacao makes it through because they have the more talent, and it could be a tricky group as well. But as you know, you never boy JT they can't say Jamaica I have no problem at Odin because Jamaica they
JD,
can't
you
talk
sound
No,
like
football.
you're
no, no.
afraid.
I'm
JD, you
already
sound like you're
thinking that we're
afraid.
gonna have problems, and when we get to that, we'll talk about the problems. You
Yeah,
don't have to even question
Odin
that.
we can't assess football and say nothing. We have to just hold it together.
Yeah. JT and JD reminds me of Pinky and the Brain. Okay, Nitro. Thank you. We're not trying to take over the world tonight. We're just explaining and exploring the football groups. Nitro, give us your take. Since it's
Yeah,
a
but
football show.
promise Nitro will just talk. But
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my time.
If him did over JD show, JD have a good two
Yeah, man.
minutes for him.
We just smoking long time, man. Cool long time. But let me
JD, I
continue.
take care of him long time, but hey, we leave that for another day.
JD don't miss nobody enough.
French Guyana and Saint
Saint
Martin.
Martin.
So these are almost so it's one island. No. Saint Martin, no. We have Saint Martin, we have French Guyana, and we have Suriname, right? Those are close, right?
What
Is
is
that the
that?
French side? One is the French side and one is the Dutch side. Something like
Yes,
that.
French. Yeah, man. French Guyana and Dutch. Yeah, but what is the relationship to that?
No, but would you think that there's some correlation with the football?
No. But them play good football. Them play good football. They're not a bad team. But if you have to make a pick, you make a pick. Don't. You're not gonna. They're gonna make you talk first. That's kind of steal my bets.
I'm gonna go with Saint Martin because I think that the French islands have to show me a bit more. I don't think this French connection has been coming through in this one. Saint Martin is a Dutch island, so I'm wondering if the total football has spilled over into that island.
So,
Haven't seen them a lot, so these games are a bit it's a throw up in the air kind of games because I think these two teams is like any one of them can beat each other. Grimy family says Saint Martin is Dutch side and Saint Martin is the French side.
Too
Yeah.
free.
Grimy, we figure that Grimy, no
But
easy no.
as for French Guyana, right? I'm surprised they're back into this whole CONCACAF thing because I remember a couple Gold Cups back, they ended up playing a retired French national player. Was it Malouda? They ended up playing an ineligible player who played in the World Cup before.
okay.
Yeah, and
I think it's him,
CONCACAF,
man.
CONCACAF ended up kicking them out, and they were
Yeah.
banned for a couple of years. I didn't know they were gonna include them back in the trials so fast.
For me, I
Yeah.
am going with French Guyana on my paper. All right.
Okay. What are the fans saying? Jason says Dutch over France all day.
Yeah, but
Um,
he have a different
you
take
might
why.
take film, yo, you might take film personal bias
Yeah,
on the international stage,
yes,
you know.
a personal bias him a going with here. Yes, 1,000%. You catch him, J Taylor.
Yeah, that I think Jesse
Personal
Guna do
bias.
it. Jesse Guna use the big boy stuff. Jesse Guna, hop on the show if you like to, man, and share your opinion on that. Siobhan as well. I think you have the link. So most of the people are saying friend, but JD, why with the strong ties to these major footballing nations, these other islands haven't really
People just
utilized that connection?
people just don't choose them. For French Guyana got a few players that are solid enough players that you could look out for. Yes, so
Mhm.
I think based off that, I would give them the edge, and they do play quality football. But I just believe that it's tougher for them to get the players them in their prime to come and play for them. So what they do is get players from a younger age, 22,
Mhm.
23. If they can get a 130 to match with the experience, they do so. And at this point, they're doing well with what I saw. So that's why I'm sticking with the French Guyana. For Dutch region, it's a little bit tougher for them to get everything that they do want.
Okay, all right.
Um, as you have to remember, you know, regarding to the sports spilling over into some of these islands who are affiliated with whether it be Dutch or French. Not every society is really accepting. As you can see, us as Jamaicans, we already have our struggles with certain players coming from east or west and
Yeah,
wherever they come
I
from.
don't
So
think them have them problem. Them welcome the people them come Odin. All like major time country when me here, them glad for everyone coming. Them desperate for some of the people them coming. So I don't think it's the same.
yeah,
But maybe
I
if you have
understand that
experience,
part. But what I'm saying is, um, if that was the case, a lot of these islands would be way ahead of us because you can see a lot of other like Curacao and Suriname, they're catching up to us because they started utilizing their diaspora. A lot of these other islands aren't really utilizing the tools they have, and that
Okay.
the this whole accepting people could be one of the issues. That it's just an example. That's all.
Okay, so how is it gonna be? How is it gonna set up now? So it's gonna be the winners Trinidad versus
we have
Guyana.
Trinidad versus Guyana.
Trinidad
Uh,
versus Guyana. Who do you got, JD?
Trinidad versus Guyana.
So we are get Trinidad people. We are get Trinidad because of Guadalupe Messeno. So I don't know. So I don't even know how we reach a Trinidad. Everybody in the comment section, let me know. Trinidad over Guadalupe. Which who wins this?
Uh,
Trinidad over Guadalupe.
so no, you're going back to the Trinidad Guadeloupe. Okay, people, let me
Yeah.
know Trinidad or Guadeloupe who you think will go through. We have 46 in the chat, man. Smash the like button, share, subscribe. You know, Nigel coming in with him bad mind self. So we are trying to take over the world. Yeah, man.
All right.
Graham go with Trinidad. Graham said Trinidad.
Okay. Trinidad, Guadalupe, Martinique,
Everybody has
Trinidad.
said
It's
Trinidad.
Trinidad.
Yeah, Taylor,
Trinidad.
stop fighting against Trinidad, brother. Just give the people them credit.
Trinidad. Trinidad.
Oh, we get the Guadalupe from Miracle, you know. So you gonna continue you gonna continue the voting. Cause you just desperate for somebody to say Guadalupe. You know?
All right. No, JD, we're going with Trinidad. Who's your call for Trinidad over who's your call? Trinidad versus
Hmm.
Guyana.
You know, I think Trinidad will struggle to make it out because I think Guyana will give Trinidad also the problem, you know. Wow, Trinidad versus Guyana. I'm gonna stick with the Trini, but I'm thinking that Trini might come out on this one and penalties, to qualify. I don't think Trinidad will go over to both of these teams. Okay, we get a few Guadalupes, Jevan come in and say Guadalupe as well. So watch the wings, Richards in the chat. Jamaica versus Trinidad, so we can give them 7. Okay, so so Shaman, we can't even face Trinidad. Anyways, they will go through it. Big boss. I
Let's do
I
Trinidad. Let's do Trinidad, JD.
So Trinidad versus Guadeloupe, no, Trinidad versus Guyana. Based on the prediction here, I think I'm gonna go with TNT taking it. All right, so TNT will advance themselves in prelim 7, which should be Canada, Guatemala, and Cuba for me. All right, yes. So what say you, J Taylor? What say you, J Taylor?
Yeah. JD, how many people am I allowed to have on the StreamYard since it's not the paid version?
I think it's supposed to be available maybe 8 hours or something.
Okay,
Whatever.
okay. I just didn't know. Richard, the link is in the chat. I sent you the link. So all right, so you have Trinidad over Guyana in this game. I think this game might end up in penalties.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what I said. I think
Yeah,
Angus
man.
coach. You know, see a true bad man. We are fight against the Trinidad people
No,
because
I just
man,
don't think
No,
Trinidad
man.
is that good, JD. They're
All right.
organized. Look at how
Yeah.
Jamaica, who wasn't organized, and Trinidad had a tough time against us. I think a
But
lot of
let
those
that
smaller teams are more organized.
J TL and JD, it two on them is one important thing. There's
Mm.
a historical side regarding the Trinidadians. You have to remember, they always make it to the Gold Cup. Even when they had the hexagonal, they always did better than Jamaica in the hexagonal. So when it comes to crunch time,
No,
Trinidad,
I think
regardless of how you look
off.
at it,
You're going off past
after three,
statistics.
yes, yes, yes.
Trinidad is
no,
no
but
longer that. You're talking about Jack Warner Trinidad now, Odin. We're no longer in that era
Mm,
of Trinidad.
I understand where you're
The
coming
man a
from,
fight.
J Taylor.
The man a fight
However,
the Trinidad. You're right.
however, when it comes to crunch time, regardless of the competition, Trinidad always end up perform. They always come through and make it through whenever them faced with tough challenges.
Are they getting
Certain
any
teams they
prem? They
play,
getting any prem players in Trinidad?
certain I think they have championship players. But
Okay.
whenever it come to certain teams that Jamaica struggled with or draw with, they always Trinidad tend to end up with a high score. 3-3, 4-4. That's just my take on it. But
Okay.
yeah.
So, so Trinidad over Guyana. I think that game is gonna be a 50-50 game for me. I think that game might end up in penalties because I just don't think Trinidad has made that move yet to take that next step. However, I think JD is giving Trinidad the edge. Odean is giving
I said
Trinidad the
penalty
edge.
here. I said
Oh,
penalties here.
somebody have to win in the penalty.
All right,
We need a
Trinidad.
winner.
So Trinidad. I'm just gonna stick with Trinidad. Trinidad, yes.
Okay, so Trinidad will be playing the winners of who Trinidad will be playing now if they win this game. Okay, so now we go to the next group. So it's gonna be Martinique versus Suriname again. I support Liverpool, mate. I'm a Liverpool fan. Liverpool all day. Reds all day, every day. Steven Gerrard, Heskey, the whole nine. Michael Owen. You
The
know
man
where we're
gone into
coming from.
history.
No, somebody, Yankee Graham said, yeah, him asked me who me support. I'm a Liverpool fan. You know that, man. So yeah, Martinique, Suriname. So it's a French island versus a Dutch island again. French connection versus total football. Who do you have in this one, JD?
I think it's going to be very tough because Martinique proving themselves to be a better opposition, and make it very tough for over Costa Rica. But I still have to say Suriname should win it and not just win it, but this is the game that I want them to make a statement because if they could beat um Martinique better than Costa Rica beats them, it tells me that Suriname have officially arrived. I'm waiting on that game to see how they do perform. And I think if they can beat them comfortable, Costa Rica group in a load of trouble. A load of trouble. I'm not asking you. So I just want to see a good performance from Suriname and they
Yes.
don't do. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
Jenny, you say, oh my God. Yo,
Suriname.
Suriname just come like the woman they will always cheat for you, JD. When you gonna left for a man? Cha cha.
Believe me, you gonna drop down, if Suriname
When
come
you
from.
gonna left that woman they name
Them, you
Suriname?
just talk about pieces that they brought in. I told you about other additional pieces that they brought in, and Charlotte Baker being there. Charlotte Baker is the best winger in the region right now. And Farm, the best winger out and out in the region. So if the man them add piece, you have to give them respect. Let them
The
give
thing with Suriname, JD, I think Suriname is at the point where Jamaica looked very good on paper and struggled and didn't get it together. So I think Suriname is a year or two away from
Yes.
actually seeing the benefits of having these players. Because you remember the last World Cup, Jamaica looked a bit decent on paper, and a lot of fans we were thinking that Jamaica would be.
Because JT that set me up, man. Mirac, I have not said. I said Jamaica. If Suriname can beat Martinique comfortable, what you're not checking. Remember, I'm assessing all the teams. Costa Rica doing a deep dive from the old men. Them they are bringing in all of the younger players. Them now. You get me? So they're doing. So I'm just saying, if Suriname can look good against Martinique, it will give them the confidence to say this time when we go up against Costa Rica, it's not going to be a 2-1 and we score first and dominate the play and then lose the game. It's going to be much more balanced because we have the experience now and we have the physicality. That's all I'm saying. I'm assessing football. That's why they call me the CONCACAF boss. All right. I'm saying Suriname getting it over Martinique. So when you don't
Okay.
argue with me, that's what me I stay
And
with.
as JD used the word boss, another real boss has just entered the room. And
Oh
that's the
God.
reason boss himself,
Oh,
Richie Pooh, aka Big Boss, Reason Boss, Richard out at the UK. Thank you for joining us tonight, Sir Richard. You have just you know have to you ever hop a van yet in Jamaica?
With extreme caution and trepidation.
So let's see, Richard, I run down the van and be like, I'm cautious, guys. I'm cautious. No, Richard, now you have to go up the van Jamaican style. Lay weight at the corner, and when it slow down or one of them, Jamaica, we have something that we call sleeping police. That means the van half is slow down and you're happy. And this is where we are in the show. We at the sleeping police, so we're going to allow you to hop in and go to Odin. So what we basically, the first round of the prelim, we stated that the fans, we all collaborated on the decisions, and we thought that Trinidad was going to beat Guadeloupe, Guyana was going to beat Grenada, and hence Trinidad played Guyana, and we have Trinidad winning that, and we are now on Martinique, Suriname. Who do you have in that Martinique, Suriname game?
Suriname.
Okay, and you seem like you just come back from the Netherlands. You just say Suriname. Are you hear something we not hear, Richard?
No, you asked me who I think should win that game.
Who do you think will win the game? And just give us a quick evaluation of how you are good reason for coming to that decision.
Yeah, the one
Suriname.
Suriname.
Wait, wait a minute. Good night, viewers and subscribers. Good night, JD. I salute and raise a mug. And good night, Odin. And good night to yourself, JT. Thanks for hosting the show.
Yes. All right.
You've asked me for. I've been listening to the show. I was waiting for the big guns to enter by way of the draw. I've been looking at the draw, the quarterfinal stage, where I expect Jamaica to be nicely settled in. But you're looking at the preliminaries. I don't expect any of these preliminary tiddlywinks teams to go deep into the Gold Cup, but I'm giving them their due respect. Suriname, very talented technically. JD made mention to it, alluded to the fact that they're not as physical as they may need to be uber competitive in the CONCACAF region. But technically, in terms of ball possession that you mentioned, JT, they are very good and capable. They do lack that cutting edge in front of goal. I would love to see them bag more goals than they seem usually able to do. But I think that compared to Martinique, I think that if they don't overcome Martinique, their progress would be, it would be a disappointment. It would be a disappointment if they could not beat Martinique. A handy team, but we're not really expecting them to kicking up too much dust in this particular tournament. So Suriname, I'm looking for them to go onwards and upwards with a victory over Martinique, in my opinion. Let's see. The ball is round.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Odin, Martinique, Suriname, French Connection versus Total Football.
Well, this time I figure just to go ahead.
Wow.
Suriname. Suriname is a complete team.
Wow.
Suriname is a complete team.
I wish it was Jamaica in this position and here on in that chat.
The man, if I see a 7 Suriname would have pick up tonight. You listen, Jamaican fans on paper, don't play with these guys, you know.
Yeah. So Suriname is a complete team. It's a team that could play a ball position. They need to be a little bit more physical. I'm just for most of these teams, I want to see if most of the players that they have, depending if they get past this stage, I want to see if they're gonna actually add more players, because this is just a preliminary stage.
Yeah, for me, Suriname, if I was the coach of Suriname, you know, when you're in camp and you're playing football, sometimes the coach would give you a break and let you play another sport, maybe some cricket. I would let the Surinamese play a rugby match. They need a little bit more physicality. They need to get, they do everything. They're so easy on the eye. But I think that little thing, that little dog in them, they need some potential walking red card, some Damian Lowe's in there. Somebody who's gonna, as we say in Jamaica, pop somebody's foot. They need that.
Steady. We don't need no red card block foot business. No. Just a little more steel, a little more physicality. But we don't need to go over the top. Suriname are in a good place, and as I said, onwards and upwards. They've got plenty going for them. But the CONCACAF region isn't easy. But the long and short of it, as far as the reason was London, England speaking, has it. Canada, Mexico, United States, a young Costa Rican team. It's going to be a case of the usual suspects when we get to the business end of this competition. Can Jamaica win this Gold Cup when it's all said and done, when the smoke clears? That's what I've come to join this stream to check out and see how the land lies. I think they can do it. Will they do it? That's another question.
Reason boss, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Man, we don't reach nowhere near that big boss. So hold on, man.
Reason boss, you gotta drink the tea too fast. Yeah, drink the tea too. What you drinking over there? What you sipping on over there? Reason boss, some green tea or what do you have there?
Roobush tea. ROO Roobush tea.
Okay, all right. Never heard of that one.
Man, let's jump on Jamaica.
Reason boss said, listen, that little bush league, corner league thing, we could skip that. But for the fans who, we might have a fan in here or two who's from one of these countries, and we want to give all Caribbean country or nation their due respect, though we know they're not the big hitters. And we still want we want them to improve, because a more improved Caribbean and CONCACAF is better competition for for Jamaica as well, and more respect for the region. Jason Guna, quickly on the Suriname game, Suriname versus Martinique. Who do you have in this game? Your mic is muted. Jason, the mic is muted. All right. When Jason figure out the mic, let's get to Curacao. Right, well, okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
now?
I could hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah, big up everybody on the panel. Big up all your viewers and things. Yeah, for the Suriname game, I would have to go with the Total Football. I think Suriname, when you look at the development of the two nations right now, they're further along. You know, they have been kind of bringing their players in for a longer time period, and I think they have more of a nucleus of professionals playing their trade overseas with a little more development and seasoning. So I think when you factor in all of those things, you know, you have to give Suriname the advantage in this encounter.
Okay, all right. So let's go to JD again for Curacao versus who did we have in that game? Was it Saint Martin or
No, French
French
Guyana, French
French
Guyana.
Guyana? Okay,
Yeah.
so they're saying French Guyana in this game. So we have is it the Dutch versus the French connection again?
Yes.
Oh my God! So it looked like the first the prelim is all about the Dutch and the French. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm in World War something.
Oh my
Um, JD, who do we have here on this one? Curacao, for me, as I said, is that X factor team that could
Yes, I
change
think
any one of
Curacao.
the groups in the
I
major
think Curacao
stage of the
should.
game.
Curacao should turn up for this one. I think Curacao should have been the team that's further in their development. But people will say that I'm biased, but I think Suriname catch up with them after seeing Suriname in that game against Mexico, and I do believe that they're gonna add pieces. Not do believe. They have added pieces on their squad, and they're moving good. I think Curacao should be good enough to win easily over French Guyana. Yes. So I have
Okay.
Curacao advancing to our group.
Rich Reza Boss, who do you have winning this one? French Connection versus Total Football again.
I'm going to give the edge to Curacao. I'd like to go for the underdogs. I think French Guyana, I've seen French Guyana play a couple of games, and they've got some ability, they've got some pluck. But Curacao, as JD said, they've got useful players, but development could have been further on than it is currently. But I think that Curacao will be fancying their chances of making the group stages. Curacao for this one. But I wish French Guyana all the best. Plucky team.
Okay. What
All
about you,
right.
Jason Guna?
Yeah, for me, this one is easy because I will always lean towards Dutch development over any other one. Um, but even all my biases aside, when you just look at the two teams, I think Curacao have a bit more in terms of just players that they have on display. And I
Facts.
think as long as there are no issues, because Curacao seems to be another one that has internal issues all the time. So as long as they cannot have too many of those and they can feel their actual team, they should be able to get through these prelims. So I think they will be there.
Yeah, and I'll make it quick on this one. I think French Guyana should show up at this game with a return ticket home, as the Curacao team should just breeze through this one quite easily. So now we're gonna have who we're gonna have now. Is it gonna be Trinidad versus Martinique?
No, we already know that's done. It's done now. So we got our three advances.
So
First,
we have our three advances. So we have
yeah,
so Curacao
Suriname,
ends up So Curacao ends up in Jamaica
Jamaica group.
in Group A. And now, guys, we have reached the part of the show where the Reza boss has been chopping away at since he got on stream. He really wants to get down to business. And this is the group that we show up in your jacket and tie. Jamaica, USA, Nicaragua, and a potential
Curacao.
Curacao. To me, I think this is now one of the most competitive group if it turns out the way we have just predicted the prelims. United States versus Jamaica. The first game, I don't know who organized this, but I feel like this was scripted. I felt like this was scripted when I saw this encounter. How can you have these two teams play in the first game? I don't know, but this is it.
Question, Jay Taylor. Are the other groups set up the same way, or is Jamaica USA the only group that has the two top teams playing first?
Um,
I think so. We're
yeah,
the only two.
because 80 not playing Mexico. Um, which I don't. The other groups are tricky. So anybody playing anybody in a Mexico team, a Mexico group, you could consider it as fair
Okay,
because
how about the Costa Rica Panama group? Because those two would probably be.
No. I think
no, the
Costa
Costa
Rica play El Salvador, right?
Okay, so
yeah,
we are in fact the only group
yeah,
with the
man.
top two ranked teams. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. That was a surprising thing. The top highest ranked, but I'm gonna get it right here and give it to you. Yeah, but I,
Yes.
I think it's accurate.
Yes, yes, and not only that, this maybe this game was orchestrated to really start off the group stage with a bang. Like, here we go, guys. The competition has just started. I think maybe this was what they thought when they scheduled this game. Let's go to Richard on this game, the Reason Boss. Jamaica versus United States at Soldier Field, and we know the USA fans how they approach things in this kind of environment. Can the Jamaicans triumph in this
Mexico
game?
versus Honduras, Mexico versus Honduras, Panama versus Costa Rica. So you could say, Jason, you could say, but if you look at the groups, them, you could understand why. But in this group, I just don't see why Jamaica have to play United States first. It does look a little bit more worse off than the others. That's all I'm saying. So I
Yes.
do agree.
Reason
Yeah,
Boss, this
that's
is
yeah.
it.
This is it. JT, yes, I heard that you're either suspicious or expectedly and excitedly waiting for this Uber clash between Jamaica and the United States. Personally, I don't think it particularly matters that these two teams are meeting first up in this group. The long and short of it, from London, England, I've got Jamaica and the United States coming out of this group successfully. Certainly, the United States will be coming out of this group. Anything less will be a disappointment. I've got them
What
top
is
in the group.
what is wrong with you with this rushing the videos? You're not. Oh, you mean Jamaica, United States are come out of it? They don't even tell you about the potential Costa Rica and Nicaragua. Why do you think Jamaica will just beat up Costa Rica and Nicaragua? You don't
No,
tell me.
Curacao.
Curacao, I should say Curacao. Why you think that we're just gonna beat up everybody and everything good? Based on what you saw in the Mexico game, I'm trying to learn. That's all I'm saying. Because
Thank
you're just
you.
a rush it tonight. You're just a rush it tonight. I don't know how going with you.
If I may, JD, if
Okay.
may I speak?
Sorry.
May I continue? It's not a soliloquy, but may I continue, JD? Thank
I'm
you,
very
sir.
sorry. Continue, sir. Continue. Sorry.
No problem. The fly in the ointment, where those who believe and are confident that Jamaica will not only go through this group, but will go deep into the competition, take out the likes potentially of Canada and Mexico. The
Okay.
the smoke, the elephant in the room is how good will this Jamaican team be in a competitive environment as a unit overseas in America in a competitive environment and atmosphere? With the glass half full, I'm looking forward to Coach Jaime Halgrimson. I think that he is a very much a plus to the Reggae Boys. The Jamaican men's senior national team have been starved relatively of success. Expectation levels are high. I am a little nervous with the likes of people getting excited about the Damari Grays coming on board. Damari Gray is currently engaged in a relegation battle with Everton, his club team. I don't know the mindset of Damari Gray when it comes to representing the Reggae Boys. Excuse me, got a little hay fever, so bear with me. So I like the looks of the Bobby Reeds. Bobby Reeds has had a terrific season with Fulham. But the midfield area, I'm going to cut to the chase regarding Jamaica. JD, you are absolutely right to shine a spotlight on the Jamaican prospects. And is it done and dusted where Group A is concerned? Nicaragua, don't sleep on them. If Curacao come through, don't sleep on them either. I think this is one of the toughest groups. Easiest groups, in my opinion, is Group D.
Yes.
Group B and Group C are pretty tough. They're going to be competitive, and Group A could be a little more competitive than we Jamaican fans would like or hope.
Wow.
This is going to be very interesting. And the midfield, because JT, I know, and I must salute you, JT. I know that you said that you're very keen on focusing on football, on-field related matters, tactics, players, history, and less so off-field matters. Well, the Jamaican midfield is, excuse me, a concern for me. It's a it's a part of the field where some of the best teams, clubs or international, they shine. High IQ, high good engines, excellent engines, technically gifted, robust, capable of defending as well as attacking. I have my doubts about the Jamaican midfield. Is Jonathan Russell the answer to our prayers? I feel some people are thinking that he is, and that he's a surefire start, 2 rungs up from the likes of the Devon Speedy Williams. I am not so sure. Ravel Morrison, a jewel, or has been a jewel in the Reggae Boys crown, but Rafael Morrison is into his 30s, and he's no Andre Perlo. The midfield area is a concern for me, but I am hoping Coach Halgrimson is his own man, his own boss, and he will know how to prepare this team. Technically astute, experienced, FIFA-approved license holder. He has good tactical acumen. Was it all on show against Mexico in the Azteca? To a degree. Made some decisions. Lembakisa on. Jervain Brown off. Russell being picked. Well done. Showed some good things. But I'm not sure if this is a done and dusted deal. JD, speak!
JD, Jamaica versus United States. Group A. What
Okay.
a showdown. What JD, to me, I'm still a bit confused. I know that we're going into this game. And the way I'm looking at this game, I'm not looking at this game through the lens of a Jamaican fan. I'm looking at this purely through the lens of football. We have a team here that competed very well in the World Cup, the United States. My hope is that the United States has what you call the World Cup hangover. You know, when teams tend to come from the World Cup and they haven't really found their bearings and start to turn over properly. I'm just hoping that's the United States team that we play. JD, how you see this game shaping up?
Whew. All right. So, Mr. Reason Boss, the man asked Reason Boss about one question, one team, one game, and Reason Boss. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Look at him. He has a problem today. He wants to leave fast. Reason Boss, don't disrespect J Taylor like that. Stay on the damn program and relax. All right. Yes.
First time we need you here tonight, Reason Boss. I
Yes.
love the energy tonight, though. I hear the fire in your voice. You're ready for the summer. Me hear it. You're ready for the summer. That's the kind of, you're probably wearing a shorts right now, too. You're ready for the summer.
Be careful, J Taylor.
No, man, you see, over here, so now, JD, the why and them thing in the world really work. When them say why, I say why not? So that never really work over here. We just say how we're using regular English words over here. So, you know. Go ahead, JD. Group A.
The first game will be very, very tricky. I'm glad that the coach himself said that the United States would be the favorites going into this. So if I say it, it would not come like me a fight against Jamaica. Because the coach himself, the man where I coach a team, I say United States should be the favorites. So for me, yes, United States still remains the favorites. They had played a few games coming in. They gave one, what, 7? Was it 7? And then El Salvador after 1. Both of the performances were a bit different. The first game was a weaker team, so they got enough chance to rotate under the new the coach, the temporary coach that they had. So they were working on few systems to get their strikers straight, because I do believe that they have a striker problem. They have good midfielders, good defenders, good goalkeepers, but it's just this, and wingers as well. It's just the striker problem. You have Ricardo Pepe doing good, DK doing okay as well. So they're trying to find that extra striker. So that extra 2 games that they got, and also them even playing the Mexico game as well, because they're still looking for a striker. I think they might slightly still be ahead of Jamaica in their development, because Jamaica only got 1 game. And this game comes down to what Jamaica does, like how much extra games they do get to set their style, because you can't keep giving the coach less game time to work with his team and then expect the maximum out of it. You understand me? And at this point, the United States is still at higher development than Jamaica. So I would still say in the first game, United States at the edge for me, and United States more than likely win it. Only if Jamaica can get additional games so we can evaluate where they truly are at this point.
Wow.
That is my
So
statement.
you hear it from IMAX with football. He has USA winning this game. So we have one for Jamaica.
No, you cannot say it like that because you know Jamaican people play. You have to put all of them
No
in
man, but JD, you gotta take care of them tomorrow when them come with the buckle them over your shoulder.
I put
But
all
tonight is honesty. That's what I'm trying to say. This is
Yes, we're not
football.
put
I
all
said
the
to people when we talk about football, JD, everybody can
Yeah,
pray to God.
but put all of the education in it. So why you don't
JD,
put on the
JD,
added
you take
No,
all
the
the education
Jamaican fans
and give
don't.
you an answer with your education.
Yeah, Jamaican fans don't listen, don't talk about education when it comes. Football is about passion. When you talk about
Okay.
football with Jamaican fans,
Oh, Lord,
education
this
is for
is set up.
school
Me done.
September morning. Jason Guna, are we gonna get honesty from Jason Guna, or the passion is gonna take over? Jamaica versus the United States. Who you have winning this game?
All right. Well, look, I don't want to. I want to be honest, right? So currently, I don't know the makeup of our squad. I don't know the makeup of USA squad. I think those things will be crucial for me to give an honest assessment. But since we're just doing this exercise, I will say for right now, I think Jamaica should be trying to earn a point in the first game. If they had an objective going into the game, they should try to get a point in the game. Now, you don't want to go into the game and play for the point, but I think that when you look at Coach Halgrimson, if you told him, look, we can get a 0-0 or a 1-0 in the first game, he would probably take it, knowing the opponents that we have after that. I think JD makes a very valid point. It's a lot of it will be contingent upon, can we secure one or two friendlies prior to the Gold Cup? Because if we are to get some players in that we have been reported that we should get them, we would love to see those players get a few chances to play with the team before the actual tournament. So I'm hoping that the JFF, is looking at these things and understanding that gelling process leading into the Gold Cup will be important, because like every other time we meet up as a nation, we're going to have new players. And we don't want to put those new players on the field for a competitive game for the first time, if we can help it. So hopefully they're looking about that as of now. It shouldn't be too hard. All of these teams in this Gold Cup will be training and getting ready. So at the very least, you talk to any team that's inside another group and you say, okay, let's play a 2-game series, or you find 2 teams and you play 2 games. But I think that is the most important thing. We need to get on the field.
Oh man, we just lost Jason Guna there. I think he will sort it out, and I will just. Are you back, Jason?
Yeah, I call take me away.
All right.
But yeah, basically what I was saying, like I have to hammer home that point that JD made. I agree with him totally. The getting the games beforehand so that we can see Damari Gray, getting some game time with his other teammates and whoever else, we happen to acquire before the Gold Cup. We need to be able to see them and get them blooded into the team before that first game against USA, because, we saw the last time we played USA in a non-competitive game, I think the entire team was a brand new team. And I think we lost 4-1 that day. So we don't need anything similar to that happening. We see the difference in, the Pinnocks and the Lows and all of those of the world. They look way more comfortable playing for Jamaica these days. So we need to continue to get those guys on the field before it's a competitive game so they can get ready. So if we can have the right preparation, I think we have a chance to even win the game. But I think as of right now, we should be wanting to get a point and not starting off with a loss in the Gold Cup.
This game is a very unique game. My heart says that Jamaica wins the game, but football says that the United States wins the game. Though we know it takes heart to win a game, football tends to give us a reality check on the day. And I'm quite fearful of a few things. If you look at our Gold Cup history and the United States, I think this Gold Cup will be the year that United States feel their strongest team going into a Gold Cup. They tend to enter Gold Cup using the Gold Cup as a development tournament for other players. But I feel that there's some pressure on the United States in this game, in this tournament, as they're going to be one of the hosts for the 2026 World Cup. I think they want to stamp their dominance on the region and prove to the world that we are the big boys in this region. We didn't just go to the World Cup and perform the way we did because we are the United States. However, Jamaica is always that unpredictable team that nobody wants to play. However, the United States have never played against a Mikel Antonio in a Gold Cup. They have never played against a Leon Bailey on the right or a Demari Gray on the left. But for me, the big X factor in this game is Coach Heimar Hallgrimsson. He said something in his interview after watching the United States at the World Cup. He said, I learned a few things about them and I won't share it because we might have to play them. And I keep going back to that game over and over where Iceland beat the Netherlands, and he spoke about what he recognized the Dutch were doing, where they made about 60% of their passes in their own half. And he came up with the strategy that then we need to press them in their half. I think if he takes a similar approach where he found out weaknesses in the United States team, watching them in the World Cup, and based on the Mexican game, he has proven to us that he is capable of being strategic of how we play teams. I think this will be a game of two halves. I think we have to be very cautious in the first half. And this is the first time I will advise Jamaica going into a game being cautious, only because we don't know who we are as a team. We don't know our identity as yet. And I hope we don't go into that game trying to match the USA, who's coming from a World Cup, just because we think we have better players. So I think we should be cautious. And if we see that the United States are having problems with some of the things that we're trying to do, then we go on the front foot and try to play them. Richard touched on this. We cannot go into this game using two attacking midfielders to play the defensive midfield role. I think that's the recipe for disaster. I think I would rather start the game with two defensive midfielders, to be honest, in the first half, just to soak up that pressure and see what they're trying to do. Our goalkeeper, Andre Blake, we know that's his territory. He's MVP, so we should be quite solid in that area. I also love what the coach did by giving the captain's armband to Ethan Pinnock in that last game, because Ethan Pinnock is one of those players that he plays like a leader, but he doesn't really lead with his presence. He's just one of those good kids in the classroom that gets the work done, but he doesn't say anything even if you see a kid lighting a fire in the classroom. I think the coach gave him the captain armband and said, "You're playing at Brentford. You deserve this. We need you to know that you're here." And I think that armband has also put some pressure on Ethan Pinnock to let him know that, listen, you are in the Jamaican setup and you're one of our captains. And if we can get guys like Ethan Pinnock to start believing and start leading, I think Jamaica has a good chance in this game. But I'm also, on the other hand, fearful of a player like Damian Lowe, where we're going to be at Soldier Field. I think the United States fans are some of the most strategic fans in putting pressure on the referee to make a decision. And we don't want players like Damian Lowe to go out there and lose their head, get caught up in the ambience and the atmosphere of the stadium and start making rash tackles. But in this game, I think the United States might just score that goal that hurt Jamaica. And I'm only saying that they have the edge to win this game because we don't have a team as yet. We are in the building phase, and too many times we get carried away by who's coming and who shows up, and we see the photos on Instagram and we say, "Yo, the man them a gel in a training." That doesn't work when it comes down to the day. When the national anthems, when they sing the national anthem and the whistle blow, Instagram no matter anymore. So I think USA takes this game for me in a close 2-1 game. Nicaragua versus Curacao. JD, who you have in this game?
That's a surprising thing. That's why we said but before you even go there, you say 3 hours you talk for to say the same thing as me to get away with it, because you have to polish off the fans them to get away with it. Oh, I'm learning, you guys talking, you and Jason, we don't have some that way of talking to make these people accept, that's the problem. That's why I'm in a Jamaican. It's okay. That's why I'm in a Jamaican. That's no, they pretty much say I'm a Jamaican. So it's me understand, but it's me I learn. It's okay. Anyways, for me, Curacao, I saw the Nicaraguan team. They could be good. They build up very good, and they are constant with their pressure. They could create chances, but I still believe that going into this game, Curacao should be the favorites if they can get to this. Once they get to this level, that simply means the players are clicking. Curacao will be the favorites to this game, and that's why it's dodgy. It's a dodgy way why they are even in this playoff part. You understand me? Because they are the actual favorites over Nicaragua. I'm if they go through, they 1000% beat Nicaragua in this game. I'm very sorry.
And the danger of Curacao coming through is Curacao is gonna have a lot of game time under their belt. I think people don't understand that.
Yeah, the games I am hoping Jamaica play, they have the games to play.
Exactly. I would have almost kind of hoped Jamaica was in the prelim in a way just to get the games. To be honest, Jamaica is lacking game time. We're lacking game time as a team.
That is exactly what I was actually talking about. That's why I said I think Curacao beat Nicaragua once they reach this further. So Curacao put themselves on 3 points, and then the all sorts of drama start happening.
All hell broke loose in this group.
Yeah.
Richard, Curacao versus Nicaragua in that game.
I think it's going to be a little closer maybe than JD and yourself maybe, and maybe fellow panelists below may think. We'll see. I like the look of Nicaragua. Tidy team, technically again astute, hard pressing, industrious. Maybe they've got enough cutting edge to make it a little closer. 2-1 is not too far from what possibly could unfold, but I'm going to go for Nicaragua to maybe cause the upset. Then it has to be some upsets in these Gold Cups, so why not? I mean, it could be a draw, but I'm going to go for the upset. But Curacao, I'm really looking forward to seeing, how they develop. But Nicaragua, give the look smile man a chance now.
No, but Richard, would Nicaragua beating Curacao upset?
Very good point. Very good point.
Even though Nicaragua qualify, I think if Curacao comes through, people will think that Curacao is a better team than Nicaragua. To be honest, they are not as Curacao is not a small ranked team, Curacao is actually one of the highest ranked teams, They just performed the bad because of the goose. It didn't got sick and had to come out. Remember, all of those things reached them in the last Gold Cup. They got thrown out because they said one man got coronavirus. And they threw out the entire team because they were in the Mexican group on the dodgy thing, because at that time they were arrived to beat the Mexicans, and they figured out a way to throw out them on them. And so, guys, a whole heap of thing reach a team, so you have to be careful how we judge these players. They are not as bad as what people want to make it out as,
So Richard have Nicaragua. So then Jason Guna, you're gonna be the tiebreaker on this one.
Well, I don't know if this is gonna break anything, because I think this game is gonna draw.
You think this is a draw game?
Yeah, I do. I think Nicaragua is one of those Central American teams that, when the draw was made, I know people by name would say, yes, we never get El Salvador, we never get so-and-so, Guatemala. But Nicaragua played just like those other teams, that Central American style that Jamaica tend to have trouble with.
Yeah,
right?
but then
don't touch that. That's another. We're gonna get there. Don't
so wait.
Wait, fans, take out the buckle them for me too after this as well. So continue, Jason.
Yeah, no, I think because Curacao is such a wild card, and we know at their best they should be better than Nicaragua. But how often do we see Curaçao's best? We don't ever see it. So I can't really put all my eggs in them to beat them in this game. I think that it will be a drawn game. I think Nicaragua is going to surprise a lot of people in this Gold Cup because more eyes will see them play. And they're not as far away from those other Central American teams that some people might think. They're in the same kind of class with the Guatemalas and stuff, like just below the Costa Ricas and the Panamas. But I think their style is what is going to cause people to take notice because they play a really neat style of football.
But the reason why I went with that, Jason, was due to the fact that we had extra games for Curacao coming in. So we are predicting that they have their best players, and I saw that once you have powerful forward to get you over the top, they seems to struggle. The backline seems to struggle if they can press up the pitch because they try to play compact and then press you after. You understand me? So once that forward can draw back their defense line, it tends to start at that gap, and then now you have matchups with players for players. And that's what Suriname did them in Netherlands. And I thought that Suriname was the better team overall once the quality started to show. And to be honest, people always said Curacao is better than Suriname, which I don't believe now. I think they're equal no, but I still believe that with their Bakuna them, I think Bakuna them might be a more solid midfielders to even push up. I don't think the forwards I would give the same advantage as Suriname, but the midfielders could do a work to open their forwards, to make their forwards get more opportunities and stuff, and could cause them problems. So that's why I went with that still. But I totally understood your point. Yes, because they do play football the right way and cause problems. So if you can't beat the press, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, I think Curacao, like you said, we're basing it a lot on these prelim games if they can put it all together, right? But let's say, the thing with Curacao that I find is we can get a performance from them where they look like they could beat anyone in CONCACAF, and then we get another one where they look like they couldn't beat French Guyana. So I just worry with the levels that they tend to go up and down in, where on that scale will they actually be when they play this game? That's the only thing that I have to put a little reserve and not give them the win and lean towards more of a draw.
Let me just read a few comments and see what the fans are saying. Joe Grind said, bless up panelists and everyone. Live was no super chat. I don't have 1,000 subscribers, so guys, you have to get me to 1,000 subscribers if you like to donate or anything. Just hit the like button for now. It's easy and it's free. Nigel said, boy, JD bias to them little island with link to Netherlands. Baller Kick 90 says, okay, see, if Jamaica really want to win this Gold Cup game on the 24th, they just need to don't show the USA no respect and just get at them at one the whistle. I guess you say at one the whistle blow. JD and JD, do you think you guys that Low not starting at Philadelphia with all will affect his performance at the Gold Cup? Dr. Joyful, I never know what Dr. Joyful is talking about, so I can't really keep up, to be honest. He's having a lot of parallel discussions. Chris Simi says Nitro, all right. Baller checks, Dr. Joyful again there. JT, do you think Paris should be in the Gold Cup squad? I think Paris should be in the Gold Cup squad because if
you're not playing football, or should you be in a squad? Like
the thing with Paris, JD, if Paris get dropped right now, I think this might affect this player's confidence. Where he has shown us enough. I think he has showed us enough. Because then we cannot have to start discussing if Ravel Morris is there and he's not playing football as well.
No, but I think that the Ravel Morris obviously showing us more than Paris. That is 1,000% sure. So if you're gonna pick anybody and because of what they've shown, it has to be Ravel Morrison. But I'm saying if you have persons in that position, why would you start saying that dropping confidence and this and that? No, I don't think Paris should be selected if he's not playing. You get me? If you don't have anybody else to fill the spot, yes, bring him in. But I don't think Paris makes it based off what he's not doing anything at his club. So we cannot pick him, J Taylor, off that. You have to, if a Cephas has to come in because he's performing better, I am going to go for Cephas. I'm going to go for somebody else. I'm very sorry, because once you start set those precedences, I do believe that you're going to hear that you have Aritam and Dead Dog for the end of the team, because true, we kind of like them, you know. And then it's
Where's
like,
the reason, boss, to what JD is saying? Do you think Kahim Paris should be in the team? He hasn't got any time on the pitch for the Reggae Boys.
I've
no,
not
and
heard him.
he
I've,
doesn't really play much, you know.
yeah, I've not heard him have much game time for his club. I've not heard him pulling up any trees. So game time should be a factor. Coach Heimer, back to what I think we're all singing from the similar hymn sheet. In Coach Heimer, hopefully we trust. He's a very common sense.
But while you're going,
manager.
Richard, him comparison, Paris not playing, Ravel not playing. How do you look at those two things? Two players.
That's a great shout. Back to what I said earlier. It's a very good point, JT. Ravel is definitely, one of the darlings, quote unquote, of the Jamaican footballing scene. He's one of the gems. He's well thought of. The likes of Rio Ferdinand over the years have spoken about Ravel Morrison being, a precocious talent, one of the most gifted players that they've seen at a club as big as Manchester. Excuse me, as Manchester United. But has he got a club? Is he still unattached?
Yeah, where is he? Is he training?
I think he's still with DC, but based on the salary, right? Based on the salary rule or whatever,
But is he a part of training? Is he with the team?
I have no idea
yes,
what's
man.
happening with
I
Ravel.
think I heard that he's training. I will confirm that first. But I heard that he's training there, but he's not a part of the team itself. So yeah. But
I think he's very much a kind of a totem figure for the Reggae Boys. He's played enough games. He's familiar with his colleagues. He's a very positive, from what I gather, influence on the pitch. Though of course he gave away the penalty during the 2-2 draw against Mexico in the Nations League game. He still has an excellent footballing brain. Whether he has the legs and the engine, there's still a debate. JT alluded to it. Should he be part of a defensive CDM axis? Should he be playing deep and lying deep, or should he be part of the attacking fulcrum of the Reggae Boys? So playing higher up the pitch, providing those through balls and incisive passes for the strikers, the Leon Baileys, the Shamar Nicholsons, the Jamal Lowe's, to latch on to, as well as being close enough to goal to have a strike himself. I think the jury's still out on that, and it goes back to Coach Jaime. I'm sure that he will have been doing his research, and how that pans out will be very interesting. But I think Ravel has the drop and the advantage, no doubt, over Paris, who has had limited opportunities for the Reggae Boys. So Paris has got far more to do to make the squad, let alone having a chance in the starting 11 or even finding himself on the bench for this Gold Cup campaign. But we shall see. In Coach Jaime, we trust.
All right. Jay Shagun, I'm going to add a question to that same question where Christopher Youngsam says we need to lock down a center back to go with Pinnock. Low is not it. Are you confident with our center back pairing? And also the dangers of having a Ravel Morrison out there not playing football, as he's shown. He tends to go down on those lazy tackles when he's not in football shape. He's actually starting to become sort of a liability for us in a way.
Yeah, I think with Ravel it's a tough one because as JD said, there must be some value placed on what he's done for Jamaica, right? Mm-hmm. But I think in the way that Heimer wants to employ him deeper on the pitch, I think it's imperative that he's playing games because, as you said, that area of the field, when you get tired, your mistakes tend to cost the team more. Yes. And I think a direct
if you look at the play where he gave the penalty up, it was a lazy challenge. It was a
Yes.
tired challenge, right? And you can't expect Ravel at his age, with the mileage on his body, to be fully fit if he's not playing games. So I understand the issue with that. Now, where I think it's rough on Paris is he's in a position on the field where Jamaica has an abundance of riches.
That's talent,
There are
yeah.
many wide forwards and attacking wide midfielders that we could call upon that are playing more. Now, I think the coach is going to have to decide what's more important to him. Is it the league's coefficient where a player is playing or trying to get games? Or is it more important that the player is playing in a smaller league but playing? That's something that I think Mr. Hallgrimson has to come to grip with, because when you look at the Ronaldo Cephas and you look at the level of the league he's in, and then you look at Paris and the level of the Ukrainian league, there's like an 80 place difference between the two. So just because Cephas is there and playing and doing more, am I going to knock Paris for not being able to break into the first team of a much higher league and a much better team? So those are the things that you can't just say playing and one's not. We have to take all these things into consideration. Maybe that's why Paris keeps making teams, even though he's not playing, because the coach seems to think that at Dynamo Kiev, even though he's just training, he's getting enough development to warrant him getting a call up. These are things that maybe the coach is looking at. I don't know. But, in that wide area, it's going to be tough for a lot of people. I mean, there are going to be so many debates and who should be here and who should be where. It's tough in that position. Now, as far as you were saying about the defensive midfield, JT, I, like you, don't want to see attacking players playing there. But again, we have to figure out, is he putting those pieces there because he just trusts them more than the other, maybe quote unquote CDM options that are around? Because at the end of the day, would you rather play someone who more knows the position but is maybe not up to the standard of what you want? Or would you rather try to teach someone who you think you could work with more to play a role? What do you guys say about that? Because it seems like in the last few games, the coach has opted for the latter, trying to create a more defensive-minded player who maybe was more attacking because he maybe thinks
But
that's the
the
level
latter
required.
Jason, the latter Jason was our only options rather. Let me just before we kick
So what has changed from the Mexico game to now? Where are these options now coming from?
Jonathan Russell.
That's one
He's
person.
yeah, but a CDM we only need
You think we only need
actual.
one?
I think we only need one defensive midfielder matching, because the way I looked at that Mexico game, I saw that everybody was getting behind the ball when they needed to. So I think we were defending more as a unit. Let me just jump to JD on this one. JD, the center of the park for you, Ravel Morrison, Daniel Johnson, or you go Jonathan Russell, Ravel or Jonathan Russell, and DJ.
For me, we saw the 4-4-2 the last time, our 4-4-1-1, because Bailey dropped off and play as more of a deeper one. So I would say, but the 4-4-2 just the same, similar, because they still call it, even if one playing as a central forward, when central forwards and strikers are different, but people call it 4-4-2 regardless. Yeah, so 4-4-2. I don't want to see Ravel and DJ back in there by themselves. I don't think they control games good enough from that deeper position, because they don't block lanes properly and they don't tackle properly. You get me? And that is just like setting back your own team to be at the back foot. I think you have to get somebody with the capability, either rather in size for that capability or actual a fully ability. You get me? And I do believe that my boy that came in, I would have given him the nod if we have to stick to 4-4-2, because I think he offers more defensive capability than what people giving him credit for. I think he's a better tackler than Ravel and Daniel Johnson put together. So I think he starts over for me, but John Russell and somebody start. It's still going to be weaker than if it's a natural CDM, but I think think he's a better tackler than what we give him credit for. So I would put John Russell, and I would have gone for Ravel over DJ based on what I saw from Ravel with the vision and the playing out of tight spaces. You get me? Even though he said he's not playing for any club, I still saw that ability from him that I would trust him a little bit better in deeper line. And remember, we said we are going to use 4-4-2, so I can't make up positions of the players. That's where they're going to play. So I will always choose Ravel in deeper lines than DJ. I saw
Let
DJ.
me just throw the Damian Lowe at you as well. Are you confident with Damian Lowe and Ethan Pinnock in that position, or you think those are the two players going forward?
No, I am not I'm not the biggest fan of Damian Lowe, but I think he stops the gap whenever given the opportunity. You understand? We can't fight him, and because I saw him put in performances for a lot of teams. So for me, I think they are in football metrics, like what they teach you in football metrics. I heard people in Jamaica say that you have to have a calm defender and a rash defender. That is absolute bollocks. Nobody in a teacher, not like that, lie them and tell people. So for people that listen, that's a lie. All right. Yes, you can have one more speedier, like more physical and faster defender that can track down things, and then one have the more higher IQ then and think about the situation. That is
But would
true.
you say that's kind of what Damian Lowe is, a
No,
player
I
who
am not
can
going
go
to
out there
say
on the
you're not going
flanks
to set
and
me
get
up.
that ball?
You're not going to set me up. I'm not going to say nothing. I am just telling you the facts of football when me I learn. Me
But
not say
now I'm asking you
I try right. I try
your point of view,
no,
and
you are
your
trying
point
right
that from your point that you just made, we all agree that Damian Lowe is a bit faster than Ethan Pinnock, and he's a
um
bit more aggressive, and Ethan Pinnock would be the
I
player with
want
the IQ. So
I
wouldn't
want never
those
say this.
two
I want
pair?
never say whether I try to set me up, man. Me finish me talk, no, man. Make me talk, no. Make me talk.
No,
You don't
because if Meleke continue upon that, we would have jumped over that point. And Richard, I'm gonna come to you on those same four players, because I think those four players, I think that's where
but me
that's the
not answer.
trouble
But me not answer.
spots.
Me not answer. No, me
No,
not tell you.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want Richard to basically go over in his head how he sees this. Because in a way, this is the engine of the team now we're talking about. We're talking about the brakes, to put the brakes on the team attacking us, and we're talking about the players to have that stopgap and kick off, trigger the attacking move. Continue, JD.
For me, as I said, I thought that he command he recovered well, but I don't I understand how Jamaicans inside the country would believe that recovery is a necessary thing, but it's not necessary if you're already in the position. So even though we don't want to blame him for the goal, I thought that he ran. When I look back at the goal, I thought he ran out too fast. You get me? And put himself in a position, or he ran out fast enough, but it looks like he never realized where the next where what's his name again? Um, Javian Brown was actually placed, and that opened up the space for them to have the ear gap to do the 1-2 pass there. All right, so he looks better to me. He's playing better, but he's still prone to the mistakes that I think he will play better in a back three. I think maybe Jamaica's solution going forward with the defensive midfield problem is pretty much a back three. I'm just waiting for someone to ask them that, like, why don't just go with Jamaica?
But
Look like
even if Jamaica goes for a back three, we're still lacking another defender.
no, we're not like the other defender
So who's
because
your other defender in the
no,
back three?
Javian Brown plays much better in a back three
Oh
than a
my
back two.
God.
No, but if you
JD,
have on
JD,
if
JD,
you have if you
that
have
kind
something
of
on the
speech
field,
tell me say, you don't believe in a God. You
no,
just
just hold on.
a blasphemy
No,
on Sports Prophecy TV.
JT, we have the fact, we have the facts here. Just listen to this, JT.
Javin, you just mentioned Javin Brown in
JT, I
a
know let me speak.
Gold Cup
Talk.
against the United States.
So,
JD, listen to where's Pat? Can somebody call Pastor? We need the holy water. We need to flash JD with the holy water. Wet him up.
I'm talking here. Let me finish, JT. Let me
No,
land, and let me explain to you. I remember I'm just looking at what they are going to have, You understand me? I'm saying since you have so much problem with Damian Lowe and Javian Brown from time to time, more problems with Javian Brown than Damian Lowe. All right, but we still have that ear to error, and we don't have players. You get me? So we have to figure a way out or we can maximize our players. In order to maximize our players, we can go three at the back. All of our left backs is capable of playing centre backs with relative ease. All right. So if that's what you're worried about, you can make up the numbers there. And then now Javian Brown will become more of a advantage for us because he could play going forward and deliver something going forward. Remember, I'm watching these games, Big
Please read
Boss.
this
I'm not.
comment, JD.
We could always just use Wes Harding instead.
JD, after you made that statement, I'm glad you're on this show. Can you see if I did your show in the one? The people them with a beat you and them with a start a war. People, we want to hold JD to that statement. JD has just stated that Javian Brown would start Javian Brown wouldn't even be mentioned in the 40-man squad for this competition for me.
I never said I would have picked Javian Brown because if you heard me spoke on my channel, I have never included him in
What did you just say, JD?
No, I know what I'm telling you what they are gonna do. I know about Jamaica.
You think Jamaica is gonna start Javian Brown in a back three
Hold
after
on.
bringing on Lambesica?
But me and you know in life, that no care what we do, corruption cannot leave.
No, JD,
Jamaica
we're
so
not
far.
good. JD, we not make an escape tonight. We
Well, you
not
can
make an
say
escape
no,
with a
it's not
Javian
about
Brown statement there.
it's
Oh
not about
God, oh God.
escape.
JD, we're gonna come back to the war there. Reason
Yes, that's what
boss,
we're gonna do.
clear this up. And I don't want you to mention anything about Javian Brown because JD lose
You can't bully
he lose a
people.
points for him license.
You can't bully people into not talking. If man talk about anything we want talk about, if we want mention Javian Brown, then we continue.
All right. The engine of the team, Sir Richard, Ravel Morrison.
Yes, the engine. I pointed to it earlier, and I'm all ears. Frankly, I'm all ears. I mean, we've got some footballing brains here in the community. We've got Dr. Joyful, Chris Smith. Good evening to one and all. Bala Kick.
More than a comedian in a chat. You might talk about
Well,
football. Fool
well,
that man.
I must say, Dr. Joyful mentioned something about Damian Lowe and his not being a starter. I know that there was the Scotiabank Champions League semi-final against the Los Angeles team, and he didn't start. I was actually a little surprised. The game
They said
finished.
he was carrying a knock. That's why he never started. But I still believe that even without him, he would not have started.
No,
Because
knocked.
Well,
He's knocked out of the lineup. That's all.
No, but no. Listen, me I tell you, the man them that me tell you the false pride. I try to talk about today, that the man them tell me say my carry a knock because him tell them that. So I don't know how them can get teleported information, but the man them what me tell the man them lie. You see, man. Thanks very much, Jason.
Somebody's giving a feedback. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Maybe it's you check your mic, sir.
Reason boss, man. Reason boss, technology now.
Reason boss.
Yes, can you hear me? Is there any feedback
Just
when I'm speaking?
mute your mic so we can know if it's you.
Yeah, it's Reason boss. I don't know. There's a feedback happening, Reason boss, with the so like there's something happening there. Come.
You might have to jump off and jump back on.
Yeah,
Reason
jump
boss.
off and jump on back. I just unmute your mic again. Unmute your mic. Yeah, it's your mic, Reason boss. Yeah, it's you have to jump off and jump on again.
Will do.
All right.
Up the van again.
Yes. So yeah, guys. So tomorrow we're gonna have something for deal with JD with for me. Anytime when I back him up tomorrow.
No, listen to me, no man. Nobody
JD would have start Javian Brown in our back three, guys.
This brother, you just try catch me in a war. I don't know why not people. Everything that I've said, I've properly planned it out. and I have my reason for it. JT just want war, and I start war with him. I try to set up.
Javin
You have,
Brown,
you have a, you have
aka
a
Headless Chicken. Javin Brown
No,
has been
so
a
so
headless
J,
chicken for
JD
Jamaica.
JD is
Hmm?
probably just saying to himself, look, if we're gonna put the kid in the team, here's a way where it might be a little bit
It
better.
was very Jason.
Yeah,
You know, if you support me, it was very clear what I said. Him not here. Him just want. If I'm here, Javier Brown, him not think about nothing else.
he made chip when he
Just,
made that.
just done. Him not here. Nothing. What me just say. Nothing at all.
All right, JD, let's kick on. So the second game is it Jamaica versus Nicaragua? So we have because I think that Jamaica will lose to the United States. JD thinks that Jamaica will lose to the US. Richard thinks that Jamaica will win the game. Jason Gun, you didn't really tell us who you thought would. You broke it down, but we still didn't know who you
Yeah,
said would
no,
win the game.
I said currently without knowing who is on what team, I'm gonna say that that game will draw.
So Jamaica USA is a draw game.
Yeah, we'll have
So
1 point.
okay, so the next game, so either way, we win that Jamaica lose the first game. So it's Jamaica versus Nicaragua in the second game, right?
I'm trying to pull up the list. I'm trying to pull up the list for
I,
you to get
I'm
it.
pretty sure that's. I think we might play Curacao second. To be honest,
Let's see.
Jamaica versus United States first. No. We are playing Curacao last. If Curacao come through, we have
Yeah, we
Nicaragua.
Okay,
play
so
Nicaragua, bro.
Nicaragua
We
next.
got Jamaica has two
This is
tough
dodgy.
games in their
This is
first
dodgy.
two games
This is dodgy because that sets up if Jamaica lose to United States
and
and
draw.
So
even
so
beat and
based
draw
so
in Curacao,
based on style
Nicaragua.
of play, you would say Nicaragua would be a little tougher for us than Curacao. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I
Yes,
would
I
too.
agree.
I would too. Central American teams is our kryptonite. So I would kind of prefer
Who you
playing
have winning
Curacao
that
just
game,
based on the style
Jason
of play.
Guna? We have Jamaica versus Nicaragua. Who you have winning that game?
Um, Jamaica, man. Jamaica will win the game. We will find a way. I think the added strength in attack. I think because Nicaragua is one thing, and I think what saves us against some of these Central American teams, if we can isolate our forward players against their defenders, we have a good chance because we should be able to win a lot of those 1v1s. But the problem is we don't really get to isolate these guys enough in these games. But if Coach Halgrimson can figure that out and get the guys in space, with just one defender on them, I think we should be able to create chances at the very least. But I think also in that game, we'll have to be disciplined because a lot of times when we play these Central American teams, we concede goals late. And I think a part of that is because we don't have long enough spells of possession ourselves to have the legs to complete the game. So by the end of the game, we've been chasing them because they have more possession. And, those balls that we may have gotten to in the first half and early in the second half, we can't quite get to them late in the game. So, I think it's going to be dependent on how much we actually keep the football. I think a lot of times we just concede possession against these Central American teams and just try to attack them. We're going to need to, try to have some spells of possession to try to not run ourselves off the field. I think we tend to concede late against these teams because they have more energy because they use less energy when they attack because they let the ball do the work. We need to get a little bit more like that so that we conserve some energy. But I think games like this, Coach Halgrimson, it will be crucial for him to pick a squad that he can rely on because we're going to need to have people that can make an impact off the bench so we can finish out games better. So, if we pick the right team, I think we'll beat this team. I think Nicaragua is not quite to the level of the Panamas and the Costa Ricas that give us a little more trouble, and the El Salvador to a lesser extent. So I think with all that being said, I think Jamaica will get the 3 points from Nicaragua.
Okay. Guys, in the comment section, just let me know who you think will win the Nicaragua Jamaica game and what's your score prediction. JD, Jamaica, Nicaragua. Who wins this
3-1
game?
Jamaica for me. Sorry.
3-1 Jamaica, says Jason Guna. JD, who wins this game? Jamaica, we always have a tough time against these teams. Who wins this game for you?
Based off the assessment I've talked about the forward players. Once the forward players can isolate them, their back line, I will give the advantage. And Jamaica might have some of the best forward players them you have possible. So if our midfield can just close the gap, and if we can get any half presses in that game, I think Jamaica should come out winners easy. If Antonio could be there, that would be a definitely one person that can push back their back line, their defense line, and then bring our midfielder, our wingers up in play. So I do think if Antonio plays, or Shamar Nicholson can play an Antonio role, think Jamaica should be good enough to win. And I will go for a 3-1 as well, because we have the midfield problem. So I would go with a 3-1, but Jamaica winning 3-1.
Oh, wow. JD has Jamaica winning this game. Oh
Wow,
man, yeah.
that's Jamaica winning this game.
No,
This
no,
man
no,
is putting me
no,
up in this
JD.
game.
That's fair because I'm torn with this game. Like this game is a trap game for Jamaica. To be honest, this Nicaragua game is a trap game because after playing the United States, we don't get a break. We don't get a breather. We now enter a game with a team that we don't play a lot against. We don't know a lot about them. They tend to, if they come out on the day, it can be problems for us. So I think this is a sticky game. I think Jamaica might draw this game. I think this might be a 0-0 game, Jamaica versus Nicaragua, and Jamaica might end up on 1 point after 2 games. I think potentially this could go down to that last game where it goes. This is why I say if Jamaica lose their first game against the United States, we need not to concede a lot of goals in that game. If we lose that game, I hope it's maybe a 2-1 loss. I don't want it to be a 3-0 blowout because then the pressure will be on Jamaica in that final game. Richard, Jamaica versus Nicaragua. For me, Jamaica would be on 1 point after 2 games.
The Nicaragua game, can you hear me better? Is this a better?
Yes, perfect.
Respect. Jamaica could well have lost the first game, the opening game at Soldier Field, gone down in the battle. We will wait and see. Against Nicaragua, I've got more hope. Again, because of Coach Heimar, because of the talent that Jamaica has, attacking-wise, I think that Jamaica do have goals in them, but that contentious midfield puzzle needs to be fixed. A Leon Bailey, a Shamar Nicholson, a Jamal Lowe, even though he's playing in the championship on loan from Bournemouth in the Premier League. Those players, a Damari Gray, if selected, as I said, I'm not placing all my hopes and expectations on him being selected and being available. I think Jamaica can score and have more of an attacking threat than Nicaragua. However, because Nicaragua, along with those other Central American nations, they've got a really good collective spirit, technically astute and capable and knowledgeable on how to fashion opportunities, and with the crowd behind them, a vociferous, energetic crowd, they've got the ability to find the net and the celebrations can start. I think I'd give the edge to Jamaica to go past and get past Nicaragua. But certainly if they didn't, they can certainly pick up a point. And I think Jamaica are capable, more than capable, of walking away from the American game with something. Something can be a draw. And if they're...
So reason boss, they are more
Yes,
than
sir.
capable to walk away from the United States game with something, but yet still they are going to be taking a point from Nicaragua.
JD, what's interesting?
No, I'm trying to learn, sir.
Oh no. But and you've hit one of the nails on the head, JD, because
If
this
United
venture.
States, Nicaragua, they're gonna slap them up. They're gonna slap them up. It's gonna be tough to start out, but believe me, once United States get into those guts, they're gonna slap them up. That's all I'm saying. Still,
I'm talking about Jamaica against Nicaragua. What do you think is going to happen with Jamaica and Nicaragua, JD?
I think Jamaica's forward players should be able to power. We are not going to look good against them, as what Jay Taylor says, and everybody, because their pressing system cause problems. But I think Jamaica should be able to force forward and score goals on them, and just make it a hard gun out game. And believe me, you're going to get them caught out. If you sit back now and let them keep on pressuring you, then you will make the game difficult, like the Guadeloupe game, Jay Taylor. You
Yeah.
don't want it to become no type of the Guadeloupe game. That's the only way I see Nicaragua winning against Jamaica or getting a draw. But I think Jamaica should win that game easily. With the strategy comes from Mr. Algrimson. Yes,
But
I
and
don't.
that's the problem, JD, because both these two teams are better than the Guadeloupe team that gave us problems in the last Gold Cup. Nicaragua is a better team, and Curacao is a better team. That's why I don't think this is a walkthrough group for Jamaica at all.
And we agree. We agree with it. It's not going to be a walkthrough, but I think
Jay
Nicaragua.
Taylor, there's something very different about this version of the Jamaica team. Reading
Yes,
the
way more
coaching is
better
concerned.
players. But we're more better players as well. Yeah, Alvas Powell playing right back at that time. And Phaeton against Albert Powell, I think every single
Yes,
time
and
Phaeton
you're
will
putting
destroy.
Javian Brown at right back now, so it's like you don't want it to go.
Yeah, I never put Javier Bona right back in. I said a 3, so a 3 don't
Center,
have any.
right
Let's
center back. Sorry,
let's
right
not. We're
center
gonna
back.
save the war there. We're gonna
I never,
save that war
I never,
for
no,
another
no.
day.
I never said right central mid defense or right wing back. I never said nothing. You and J Taylor planned this out, but it's
No,
okay.
center. But we're
Me,
going. We tattoo that. I tattooed that statement on my brain, so it's gonna be there permanently. You just finish up. Go on that one. Reason boss.
Yes. I'm confident that Jamaica can get something from the game against Nicaragua, whether it be a draw or a hard fought, as JD alluded to, win. I'm confident that Jamaica can get something from that game, but I don't underestimate Nicaragua. This is a tougher group than we can imagine. And the interesting thing again, because we've been discussing the central or the midfield area, I mean, Leon Bailey, when you got the likes of Leon Bailey, super talented player, but he's not quite lit it up and done the business, the bread and butter required to get the job done. The central Ravel, DJ, Jonathan Russell, those are questions that Coach Hyman would be more than aware of. I don't think DJ personally and the Ravel is the answer. DJ will always give everything he's got. For Preston North End, he's much valued. I think he's the Preston North End captain. But for Jamaica, he's good, he's okay, he's functional. But, if you're going to go deep in a tournament like this, Mexico, Canada, America, they will have their midfield ready to roll. And, this group A, if the way we're talking and speculating, except for you, JT, and myself to a degree, Jason Guna, good to see you. And I'm wondering when the shake-up and the dust settles and 3 games are played, will we be saying that we fancy and favor Jamaica to come out of this group stage? Only 2 go through, so the long short of it is what? That's what I'll be fascinated to see, because Jamaica should, in my opinion, have a fighting chance of coming out, but it's not done and dusted where I'm concerned, because we still have elements. By the way, Damien Lowe, I think Damien Lowe is a good central defender. He is rash at times, and I think hopefully his maturity and a word with Coach Jaime can hold him in good stead. Ethan Pinnock, much respect, and I think they can operate. A back 3, by the way, I think is possible and is a good way as an alternative formation for Jamaica, and finding that third defender. We had the likes of Liam Moore, Adrian Mariappa, but he might be a little long in the tooth. Liam Moore, he's had his injury concerns. A back 3, we've got the likes of Richard King, for example, who possibly could be forming part of a back 3. But it's not done and dusted, and that's why my appetite is absolutely whetted, and I can't wait. I'm looking forward definitely to this Gold Cup, because the group stages will tell us a lot realistically about where Jamaica are. And we've mentioned preparation. Preparation games are important. So we'll see how things pan out. I'm looking forward to the group stages very much. It's not done and dusted.
The reason boss want to answer the whole question one time, every single time. Yeah?
Yeah, man. No, to him, I think he skipped when we tied into the Damian Low. So the final game in that group, Jamaica versus, because I think the USA will just steamroll the other teams. I don't see the USA having any problems. And I think,
Hold on to that.
yeah,
Curacao played the United States a few times, and the United States couldn't deal with them as nowhere near, no way as what you think. So we have to be very careful. I would agree that the group, if Jamaica don't beat Nicaragua, and the Curacao make it through on a farm, I think our whole liver people are gonna start cuss. I'm telling you. So
because this is the game, JD. I
I
think that Jamaica goes into this final game on 1 point against Nicaragua, needing against Curacao, needing to win and have a healthy gold average. Who do you have winning this game? Jamaica versus Nicaragua in the
well,
final game.
it's too tough. That's no, I have them winning Nicaragua game. So I don't think it's the same, and I think they would have scored more goals than Curacao. So even if the game draw, the last time Jamaica and Curacao played, it was a draw. Jason Wright and Curacao went through, won it.
Yes.
Yes. So the
Yes.
last time Curacao they drew with Jamaica when they're just starting their development and stuff. They drew with Jamaica, which this
Yeah,
is a
that was
stronger.
a one. I thought it was
Yeah,
like.
1-1,
Yeah.
and this is also a stronger Curacao team as well from the first one. So we can't say one is stronger to give Jamaica the edge. We have to just say that both teams are good teams. So if Jamaica fail to beat Nicaragua, by your logic, I don't think Jamaica would beat Curacao. But because I believe that Jamaica will beat Nicaragua, I think Jamaica will have a good game against Curacao and might have the odd edge to score a goal on them. And I would give Jamaica a 1-0 win. But it would not be surprising if it become 1-1 draw like the last time, and then Jamaica would still advance because they would have scored a 3-1 against Nicaragua for me.
Okay, all right. Jason Guna, who you have winning this game?
For this last game, I think that Jamaica will probably not want to be chancing getting a draw just because I think the second place will be a little tight. So I'll give them the 2-1 edge. I think if Jamaica wants to get through the group without problems, they need to be wanting to get 6 points from Nicaragua and Curacao. And so, I am going to stick with that and say I think that Jamaica will have a tough game in that last game because I think Curacao will be fighting for their lives to get through as well. But I'm hoping that we could tackle them close margin 2-1.
Okay. So we head to Group B. Let's move through Group B a little bit more faster because I think Jamaica was the meat of that one. Mexico versus Honduras. Richard, who you have in this game?
Mexico. I've got a soft spot. I must confess, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Honduras. I've enjoyed watching the likes of the under-17s compete. They technically, I like their style, their ball possession, technical skills, the way they create opportunities, and they can find the back of the net. They're hungry, a lot of determination, a lot of pride in representing the country, and they show a healthy amount of maturity in their play. They've not always done themselves justice in the senior ranks, but Mexico may be a bit of a bridge too far, but they will keep Mexico honest, in my opinion. But I favor Mexico to take the win. I don't think you asked me about Jamaica Curacao. Is Jamaica Curacao the last game in that group for Jamaica? As day follows night, I could be out of line. JD knows a bit more about Curacao. I have seen them play highlights only. If Jamaica can't take out Curacao, that would speak volumes. That should be nothing less than 3 points. I feel that the fans, the players themselves, Coach Jaime would be extremely disappointed internally. Whether they express it externally is another matter. But if Curacao are not taken care of by a Jamaican squad as strong, hopefully, Jamaican strong team. I, I'd be very, very surprised. But Mexico over Honduras in a very good game because those two teams can play football, technically gifted, and that would be an enjoyable, hard-fought game. Mexico to edge that one, but you never know.
Okay, JD, Mexico versus Honduras. Your mic is muted.
Honduras rising, thanks. Honduras rising at a faster pace. But I still believe that Mexico should have that in the talk. Gonna be a scrappy game because these games between these type of teams, it's always tough, you know. But I think Mexico should come out 2-0 winners after all said and done, you know. I think they want to make a statement back in the CONCACAF that United States is not the best team, you know. They have that on their brains and they're going in to win it, you know, because the United States been winning a lot of things too much, you know.
Jason Gona.
Yeah, just to echo JD there at the end. When you were talking earlier about how you're hoping USA has a hangover, I think the opposite is gonna happen with Mexico. They are coming for blood in this Gold Cup, so I think Honduras would be sad to have to play them first. I definitely see Mexico winning by about 3 clear goals in this first game.
Oh, 3. All right.
Yes. And I want to just say to everybody tonight, we're only doing the group stages as we have hit over the 2 hour mark.
Yeah, man.
We will do
You
another
hear that,
show.
Richard? Richard,
We
you
will
hear
do
that?
another.
We're not predicting the winner today. All right.
Yeah, so we will do another show for the quarterfinals and the semifinals. So we're just running through the group stages tonight. Haiti versus Mexico. Richard, who do you have winning that game?
Mexico versus Haiti.
Yeah.
I only see one winner, Mexico. Their class, I expect their class to tell. They're going to be hungry, competitive. This Gold Cup, as I said, I think it's going to be the usual suspects. Maybe one outlier, but the usual suspects, and that will include, in my opinion, Mexico. Wasn't overly impressed, I must be honest, with Mexico in the game against Jamaica. I think the coach, who's fairly new, will have been learning something about the squad at his disposal, and I think the players themselves will be learning about each other and what the coach expects. And expectation levels will be high for the Mexican fans. Haiti, I don't think they're in the same ballpark as the Mexicans. I'm taking Mexico to fully expect to take all the points from there. Anything less would be a disappointing setback for the Mexicans.
Jay Saguna, Haiti versus Mexico.
All right, Haiti versus Mexico. Yeah, I mean, pretty much more of the same from the first game. I think, the Haitians probably will give Mexico a little more trouble than people think because of the fact that, we saw Shamar was able to hold off some of their defenders from time to time. And we know that Shamar is not really the best hold-up player. And he did a very good job. And I want to think that those Haitian forwards, if it's one thing they can do, is hold up the play. So, I think there'll be moments in the game where people will say, wow, Haiti might do something, but I think over the 90 minutes, the duration, the gulf will show. But I do think Haiti will cause some problems in the game. But I still think that Mexico will probably win by a good 2 clear goals, like a 3-1 or 4-2 or something like that.
Cook JT like cook 4 o'clock at night, the morning.
Yeah, JT.
4 o'clock in the morning.
I mean JD. Go on. Honduras. No.
Yeah,
Haiti versus Mexico.
for me, 80 versus Qatar first.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
think
how we skip that. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but he's just fighting against 80, So 80 versus Qatar. I think 80 will make that a challenge, and 80 might slightly come out winners in that because I think 80 forward players and also their midfielders are solid, and their centre backs are very good. You understand me? I have little questions to ask about the actual keeper now than the previous keeper, but I will see more of him before I do talk. But yeah, I think 80 might still win against Qatar, get a draw against Qatar. 80 against Mexico. I think Pearl and my boy can cause them all sort of problems. Yes, and Etienne can cause them problem as well. So
Atlanta.
I do think 80 will cause them way more problems than what people out here saying, because I think 80 is not as horrible as what people saying. 80 is a better team than them coming from League B. Remember, it's reasons why I come from League B and they dominated League B and come up back to League A. They are much better. So I think just like how Jamaica could cause them problem, I think that 80 could cause Mexico problem, but I think Mexico will come out a 1 or 2 nil winners out of that one. So I think at that point 80 would be on 3 points going in the final game.
Okay, and this is how we're gonna do the next group, Sir Richard. You're gonna just go through the entire group and give your prediction with the matchups, and we do it in order after Jay Seguna, then Marlon, and then JD. You just go through the entire group. However, because all teams will be playing each other, so the next group is Costa Rica, Panama, El Salvador, and Suriname. I think, right? Or it's gonna be
Yes, that
Yes,
would be the
yes.
Suriname group.
and then Suriname. So go ahead, Sir Richard. Costa Rica, Panama, El Salvador, Suriname. Just tell me who you think coming out of those groups and the matchups.
All right. I don't have my glasses on at the moment. Just call out the game and I'll give you the potted summary. Go ahead.
So Costa Rica, let's say Costa Rica, El Salvador. We have in that game.
This is one of the tightest groups. I'm going to go for a draw. Both of them want to take something from it. Costa Rica rebuilding from their experienced team. El Salvador, again, technically sound, capable of finding the net, gave Jamaica trouble in the last Gold Cup. Oh, no, the World Cup qualifications. Yes, 1-1. I think that finished when we were all over them, but they managed to find the net. Small men, but rose high to find an equalizer against us. I think it's going to be all square, but it's going to be a tough old group that. Point apiece, draw. Next game.
Costa Rica, Panama.
Costa Rica, Panama, tough team. I'm gonna go Panama, edging it. Very tough group to call, but I'm gonna go for Panama.
Okay, let's say Costa Rica, Suriname.
This is a chance for Suriname to shine. Costa Rica, they're wily. Even though they've got youngsters, they're
When
wily.
anybody says Suriname or JD, everybody look for them. When they say Suriname.
They're wily. They I don't fancy Suriname to get the job done, but this is the beauty of football. Suriname, the players can prove all of us wrong, or not all of us. They can prove the naysayers wrong, and they can live up to what they believe they're capable of. So I'm going to go for all square. May the best team, if they can do it, win on that given day. But I can't really separate them by too much. They can come out with a draw, both teams.
Okay. Jay Seguna. So who is the two teams you have coming out of that group, Richard?
Well, this is the thing. I don't have Suriname coming out. Let me see. So it's almost a process of elimination. Costa Rica, because of the experience, touch and go. I'm gonna go for a Costa Rica and El Salvador. Costa Rica and El Salvador.
Panama not coming out. We have Panama beating Costa Rica.
It's gonna be a toss up. I think when I was doing the brackets, I had a moment to look and check the brackets, and I thought, who would go through in this group potentially? What I know is that it's going to be a very tightly, looks like on paper and in practice and in practical purposes, it's going to be a very tough and really well fought group. At the end of it, when the smoke clears, I think Costa Rica have the hunger, the experience, even though they're rebuilding, to go through. But if I wanted to call up the upset, Panama, go and do something. And El Salvador, I think I like those little guys. They're those little guys with big hearts. So on that basis, it's just from the heart. El Salvador and Panama to go through and cause the upset by not having Costa Rica go through. And it would be a minor upset because they're one of the seeded teams.
All right. Jay Seguna, who do you have coming out of that group?
All right, yeah. So this group, I think is as Richard was saying, tough to call. You have
basically three teams that want to play kind of similarly, between Costa Rica, Panama, and El Salvador, and then you have a slip passing Surinamese team. So there should be some good football and good football matches in this group. But in terms of who will come out, I will say I want to give the edge to Panama and Costa Rica, and I don't know which one will finish first. But if I had to choose one right now, I think that Costa Rica, more than likely, I would give the slight edge to actually top the group. They just have a way in tournaments of finding that result.
Sure.
So I just want to lean more to them, and I do like that they're trying to integrate some more youth into the setup and blood them in with the guys, and I think that blend will kind of carry them through to probably top this group slightly over Panama.
Marlon, who you have coming out of this group?
This group by goal difference. I think if you go by a superior team, Panama might be the superior team. If you're talking about football playing, it will be El Salvador. But I think what Suriname has shown so far from National League against Jamaica and Mexico,
Yeah.
right? And we basically against US, we saw them against US in US fought and won 1-0, and the opposition US in that game as well. So I think this could be because the four teams don't really score goals. Panama might be more prolific than Costa Rica. I don't think Costa Rica will have Navas and these guys playing in Gold Cup. So that's why I said it could be a dead rubber or four team end up on the same point. Right?
Wow.
Only friends get them through. I have
Wow.
Panama through. El Salvador, I think El Salvador have a more to get a team with the pieces they're adding.
Yes.
So I think they could be the surprise. I think
Wow.
they could be the surprise. But I think Panama, with what the coach has done so far and the younger players, because I think in CONCACAF right now they have one of the rising. With Canada have the rising team coming up with players on the under 20, under 21, and they'll be in the Toulon under 21 tournament again this year. So another way for the young players to be exposed. So I have them are El Salvador going through.
Marlon, just to arrange in the whole thing here. JD, who you have coming out of that group?
This group is tough. If Suriname reaches it, I think it's going to be tough. Natural favorites would be Panama and Costa Rica. El Salvador always a troubling team, but I think I know people will bash me again. But if Suriname makes it this far, I think Suriname is going to be the dark horse of this group. I think I am going to go with Panama winning it, because of what Costa Rica doing at this point. Them dropping all of the players, them obviously they were older, and then bringing in all of the younger players, them my players, them I talk about them highly. Yes, I think they're working on some systems. I do believe that they should have changed out more old players, but it seems like they want to blood in players and just take time drip feeding them, and I don't think that. I think they should go one big and put in Canteras, Aguilera, Bennett, and also what's his name again? The next forward guy, they should have put him in. Like all five of them should go in it with Joel Campbell at one time. They should not. They should stop drip feed them and keep an all into old players. I don't know what's wrong with Costa Rica and old players, but they seem
But
to.
JD, it seems to always work for them. Like this is a team that we always count them out, and these old guys show up.
Yeah, but the young guys are very good, J Taylor. So it's hard when the guys are very good and you don't want to play them. It's like since we are hyping over players that got bought for younger division in our region, Aguilera get bought for Nottingham Forest, Obviously, he's back in Costa Rica. Bennett is playing in Sunderland. You understand me? A lot of them playing in good competition, and they're proving themselves with their peers. So give them the opportunity. I've talked to my brethren, Edgar. Edgar completely saying that, yo, everybody in Costa Rica telling people that these guys need to get game. Aguilera should be starting over my boy. So they really rate them highly. So it's surprising. But if they do get their game, I'm gonna watch if they get any friendlies and what they're doing before. But this group can go anywhere. All four teams can actually qualify. I think this is a legitimate group that might turn out to be the group of that, because all four teams, I do see any one of these teams can beat any one of them. Anyone, because Suriname coming out of prelim in it, it makes it a group of death, because Suriname is just as strong as any one of them. Because they don't have a secondary squad to drop down like Costa Rica or Panama. You understand me? They are gonna always have their best
The
team.
best team.
Yes,
But
so it's yeah.
I think because I have all of them finish and 5 points.
5 point, Jesus God.
That's why I said goal difference. But guess what?
God.
Yeah, I have all them finish on 5 points. Everybody gonna lose one game. Not 4 points.
So 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss every side.
Yeah. So I basically have Panama and El Salvador coming out of this group. There's something about this El Salvador team that they have been playing together as a unit for a while. And we saw that when Jamaica went down there in the World Cup qualifiers, that we thought we were going to pick up 3 easy points, and they made it difficult. They look like a team that was very difficult to break down. And I'm just starting to look at the group, and I'm thinking that I think Costa Rica is going to struggle. I think this is the time where Costa Rica is going to realize that the age thing is not going to work. As JD said, the whole chip feeding these younger players, I think they might just have reached the end of the road with these older players. And I think this is where they get exposed. I think Panama, who plays that fast passing game, the Costa Ricans are not going to be able to keep up with that. And the El Salvador team, that's harder to break down.
Hey, Taylor,
I want
put you there. Panama will be the least passing team out of the 4 teams, you know. Costa Rica's
yeah.
a better.
No, but they do pass the ball faster though than all these teams. When I see Panama play,
No, because they're going from back to forward. That is what you're talking about fast. They're
Yeah.
not passing the
Yeah,
ball.
they
They're going from
transition faster.
they're transitioning. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, so they're not passing. Yes, so that's the problem. But for me, I think Jay Taylor, the reason why you're giving Costa Rica, remember you saw El Salvador play Jamaica. Jamaica don't play passing football like Curacao, like Costa Rica and Suriname. I think Suriname play a different way and Costa Rica
Oh,
play a
no,
different.
don't go Costa Rica because the last 3 games Jamaica's played Costa Rica, they are all position
Yeah,
them.
but out possess no mean you play passing football. To be honest, with you.
Yeah, but they-
Was El Salvador? Didn't El Salvador give Mexico a huge challenge the last Gold Cup as well?
I was just trying to explain to Jamaica play why it can look different. I'm just saying maybe Suriname can dispatch of El Salvador easier than Jamaica could have done it. And that's what I'm gonna try to say.
Yeah, because of the way Suriname passed the ball.
That's all I'm saying, because when Jamaica passed the ball, Marlon, that is when Jamaica get the advantage over El Salvador. You know, you get your me that try to go. That's me that try to go. You know, when you just not make me land, you know, that me that try go.
But yeah, I understand that, Jay. But I think that's why I say I think Suriname weakness would be the defense.
Yeah, I just think Suriname is just physicality for me. I think when it gets down to the grit and 70 minutes on the in the game, and the passing is no longer working and players are getting impatient, it's gonna take more grit and more fight. And I always say the referees in CONCACAF tends to be the star of the game. They tend to take over these games, and I think it will just kill the momentum for Suriname, who likes that expansive play, passing the ball all over the park. It's gonna come down to that dog fight in this group, and I'm not sure if they have that fight in them. They might be the dogs, but they don't have that fight from my end of the spectrum where I'm looking at it from. Let's look at this final group here, Richard. Who do you have in this group? Canada. I think this group is the ice cream group, as I call it. It's a pretty soft group. It's just dripping and melting all over the place. We have
My
Canada,
goodness.
Guatemala, Canada, Guatemala, Cuba, and then we're going to have probably a nice little. Is it gonna be Trinidad and Tobago? The easy little Trinidadians gonna be in this group. Who do you have melting out of this group, Richard?
Wow.
It's a case of Canada, in the Reason Boss's opinion, Canada plus one other. The Soca Warriors would love to be in with a chance of coming out of this group. Guatemala, I remember them competing at, I think it was under 17 or under 20 against Jamaica, and they showed again that technical acumen, quick
They,
passing in and
they
around the penalty box.
but no, they never played the Jamaica. They knocked out Mexico, right? Mexico, they knocked out, right, man? Yeah, man. So Guatemala never played Jamaica at that level.
Mexico,
Back
they
on
not
20.
penalty.
And Mexico, them
Yeah,
knock out of
I think
Mexico 7,580 shots. Yes.
you might be mixing it
You know,
up with
They
Honduras.
almost throw in US.
A damn rep knocked away out the reason, boss.
Yeah.
no, in the recent under, it wasn't
Yeah, man.
Guatemala in the.
No, man. At Honduras beat we
Oh,
up
you're
in
talking about the under
and we say
20?
rain need a fall too hard. Yeah, man. Honduras, man, with the acetone of them. Yes.
And the under 20
What
competition was actually in Honduras, so it was a home
Yes, man.
game, right?
Honduras,
The
man.
most recent under 17 we didn't play Guatemala.
Yeah.
when we lost to Guadeloupe, when was it where the Guadeloupe and the red cards?
Hold on. He might talk under 17.
Yeah, in the 17, Guatemala and the 17.
Yeah, man, we play Guatemala, man. Guatemala knocked
Yeah,
me
man.
out for Guatemala,
Oh,
man,
okay,
talk
he's
about.
talking about,
Yeah.
I thought he's talking
Under
about under
17,
twenties.
under 20.
Okay.
Remember,
Oh,
Jason, the final game at Guatemala beat you, man. Yeah, man, Guatemala beat you there.
sorry,
Yeah,
Yes,
reason
man.
boss.
reason, boss,
No,
you're correct, but you weren't correct. You was not correct the first time.
You're right, but you wasn't correct.
I was saying to you, was it the under 17s or under 20s? Which one was it?
Oh, under
Under
17.
17. Under
Thank you
17.
very much. So
Yeah.
under
Yeah, man.
17. So I was angling to get and ascertain which one was correct. Anyway, the Guatemalan team, yeah, they've got ability similar to El Salvador,
Yeah.
technically gifted, and created opportunities. I was impressed that they actually found the back of the net. In my opinion, finding the back of the net is the hardest thing to do. The Soca Warriors, I think, if they qualified, would find it difficult at this level. Potentially, they've got a couple of players that I was really impressed with in the forward side of their game. But Canada should stroll this group. I mean, I'm expecting Canada to be, as JT alluded to, will be smiling quietly and openly. I mean, they're the class of that field. Cuba, I've seen Cuba play. Not really overly impressed with them. I'm gonna go for Canada and Guatemala. Canada and Guatemala. And if Soca Warriors come through, they will be fighting because I think the second place is up for grabs. I don't expect Cuba to come out of this group. You'd be disappointed if Cuba finished ahead of you in this group. Personally,
Yeah,
Canada, I'm going Canada and Guatemala.
I think Cuba would have to be. I think Cuba would have to be Fidel Castro with them to come out of this group, and I don't see that happening. Jason Gona, as Sir Richard said, so he has Canada, Guatemala. It's quite straightforward. I don't see Trinidad competing. Trinidad and Cuba, they're just here making up numbers based on what I'm seeing here. What do you say, Jason Guna?
Well, I won't go so far. I think they're doing more than just making up the numbers. I think Trinidad especially, they have some players that, on their day can cause problems. So I don't think that they'll just be there just getting mashed up. I think they can cause problems. I think the Cubans, I don't know as much about them, but I know that, they're going to be a unit fighting for their country. So you can never, put them out. But Canada, I think, will top the group. I think they just will have too much quality. I think that most of their players will probably come and play as well. I think Canada, right now, at their level that they're trying to get to, they want to stamp the class in CONCACAF, so they want to win a trophy in CONCACAF. So I think that, where as Marlon was saying, Navas won't be for Costa Rica. Canada will have everybody. Davies, once he's fit, will be there. Buchanan, all of them, Larin, Jonathan, David, they'll all be there. So, you have to think that they will top the group. I think they will probably get all 3 points 3 times and get 9 points. For second place, I think I'd have to lean towards Guatemala as well. As much as I think Trinidad will cause problems, I think Guatemala just will play the better brand of football. They'll get enough results, and I think they will get that second place in this group. So I say Canada and Guatemala to go through.
Yeah, Marlon, as we said, this group is like, leave church on Sunday, you fricker, ice cream man I come Canada, you smile, you take out your money and just buy ice cream, cone,
Well,
everything,
The last
easy.
man talk like that about Trinidad, him eat him word and a lot more things,
It's come like an ice cream man on Sunday. Yeah, fricker. It's
Canadian,
ice cream.
they say they're the better the draw, right? But we have to bear this in mind as well. Remember that Nation League, they're the semi-final, right? And I think if Davis and these guys play them, it's a possibility that they might sit out of the Gold Cup, right? So I think with the 4 teams in the semi-final, I think you might see the full Panama team. Any team that is sent for the National League, you might see them in the Gold Cup. But I think US and Mexico and Canada will make changes. But Canada are still a favorite. Guatemala is a very compact group. They qualify for the Gold Cup and goal difference. But this Cuban team is a different Cuban team from the other Cuban teams. They have a lot of diverse players. They have players in Spain who are going to be in the Gold Cup squad. A couple of players in Australia, players who are playing out of the league now. You have Hernandez at Norwich, who the last time he played in the Nation League, he terrorized every defender around. So it's a touch and go goosey, but if you're going by the team with players, it will be Canada. If Trinidad get the players that they have, the Garcia brothers and all of them, if they are available, it could be sticky. Because the last time, remember the last time they held Mexico, right? They held Mexico to a draw when everybody had them could have get about 12 or 15.
JT just out here, they not understand that 13-man Trinidad have a play on the field.
No.
That's the
JD,
only
I have to
team.
give Marlon credit. Marlon can make any team look like Real Madrid. I hear Marlon call us some player for Cuba. Marlon, a creamy a come for Canada. Take out your money. Then the team you go home Sunday evening early, brother. A football this, man.
Are the favorites, right?
Yeah.
But we are talking about the other 3 teams, right? People will say Guatemala, but we can't write off Cuba and Trinidad.
There's only 2 teams in this group, Marlon.
Huh?
But I think if Trinidad goes through, Trinidad actually going through the group as well, too.
Trinidad will be going through the group. They'll be going home through the group.
All right, look like you have a problem. All right, no worries.
They'll be going through the group, all right? They'll be going home.
Angus, click this video, Angus.
Guatemala best player is their keeper that plays in Norway, right? He's American naturalized, but actually Guatemalan parents. He's a keeper now, so he's very, very good, a giant. So it's open for Canada. Everybody know that, but the other 3 teams, all of them have a chance.
Yeah. The moment you score on Trinidad in this group, the floodgates fly open. Woof.
But they can score goal.
Trinidad.
They can score goal. Remember now, the game that they played against Nicaragua, none of the Garcia brother wasn't there, right? Kevin Molina wasn't there. Williams wasn't there, right? Sheldon Batu wasn't there, so they have players who they can bring in.
Yeah.
JT.
Remember, they have the 2 major injuries them for the players them out for Trinidad as well. So maybe that's the only thing I can give J. Taylor in his favor, the injuries them for the players.
Trinidad, they're not it right now. They need Jack Warner, they need Brian Lara, they need everybody. This ain't it, bro. Listen, when you see this kind of competition, you quickly start seeing the teams that are revving up the engine start separating themselves. And Trinidad they don't have the engine. Trinidad is driving a Corolla go to a NASCAR race. This is not happening, guys.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. When Trinidad used to good, Jamaica used to have to struggle to beat Trinidad, but this ain't the Trinidad right now.
Yeah, but the last time
so we not just play Trinidad.
Jamaica didn't play against Trinidad. We put a team together to represent Jamaica to play Trinidad. Jamaica didn't play against Trinidad.
But you never hear all those names that Marlon just called. None of them never play with neither. So it's a put together team. Trinidad.
No, but I told him that at the start of the video. He never listen. He not care.
But Jason, the thing about it, Jason, Trinidad had those players had 2 games already. They had 2 games already against St. Martin, so they have an understanding what they were doing. Our players, they didn't have no understanding at all.
And Marlon, if those Trinidad players understood what they were doing and they could have barely beat a team who didn't know what they're doing, how good are they really?
It's J Taylor's channel. You can subscribe to J Taylor, man. You don't know J Taylor, man. J Taylor always over here bridging channel, man. So you support the thing, man. We're all bridging, man. You know.
Yeah, is this your next channel? Should I subscribe, man? The man who have asked JD, yo, the man me tell you, say JD, that church, that cult, the way I run off over that side, you know. When I cult members, them come over and say,
yes, sir, if I get approval.
Yeah.
Man,
JD, man, you're so like funny, the man. Channels, you know. I have WeMax it and I have iMax it, so maybe the man just inside the rank the next
channel.
What
the man name run the Marman Church?
I run my channel.
A 3 max it this.
But the man name Jason, we run the Marman Church, where them say find destroy them, some rockstone and tell the people them say in go talk to God. Something silly. The man never run off the Marman. A JD man.
People lie them and tell them, we literally connect my channel to JT channel to make people come from over my channel.
But JD, you know, I appreciate it. Marlon, you can't get Marlon number. Marlon, me don't know, brother. This
me never send the number for you, Ron. Me send the number for you, brother.
JD, the day did a bit spinny, man. The day did a bit spinny. Alger, you know what? JT, I always got put like a human at the thing. That's why I tell people.
Yeah, man, him smoke me tonight, man. Him not get back on him show, man. Too much.
Alger, before you came on the show, your boss JD said he would start Javin Brown in a back 3.
I lie.
So you see next time you go to church, no offering. Take the offering plate and run out that service with it.
Wow, we're done. We give up.
Yo, I just want to.
I think so. I think if their paperwork come through, he will be the right back.
Who?
Lattibody here.
Okay, may I say Javin Brown, I get paperwork again?
Come on.
You're friend. You say you mean say Javin Brown, I get ready again? No, Marlon, on a real note, this is not the competition for Jamaica to bring any headless chickens. We have to bring people who are plugged in and ready for this competition. We can't have people learning on the fly here. This is not the competition.
The guys are full-blown professionals, so you can't say he's learning. Right?
He plays in the MLS.
Yeah, well, guess what? So somebody was getting players from USL.
Yeah, but come on now, Marlon. Where would you rank, guys? Sorry, we have to do this right now. But Marlon, where would you rank the MLS in the top leagues around the world? I think the MLS is maybe bottom 10, low 10.
Bottom 10?
Low 10, 11. To me, the quality of football.
MLS is ranked, I think, 54 in the entire world.
MLS is not ranked 10th. MLS is ranked way down there, man.
No, man.
In the top leagues around the world?
No, in the top leagues, MLS is not one of the top leagues.
It's ranked in the 50s. It's in the 50s.
No, man. Don't go for it. No, they're talking when they're ranking the teams. They're ranking about the league quality, right? Valuation, support. It's there. It's the 4th best league in the Americas.
Oh, in America, it's the 4th best league. Okay, yeah.
But all I was saying, in the entire world, it's like 15.
20.
That's all I was saying.
It's around 15 or 20 because
the man move the goalpost, go somewhere else and say.
Yeah, Alj, when Alj here said Javin Brown, Alj say what? Who?
Marlon, MLS is not the 9th ranked best league.
The 9th, sir. I said you're in the top 20.
What do you want
But Marlon, I am just saying strictly football ranking, not.
They can't be in the 50s though. The league itself cannot be in the 50, Jason Boone.
No, the league is not the 50. The 50th?
How many leagues is around the world?
No, I can't.
Do you know what the JPL is ranked in the world?
No, the We don't have to talk about
600?
that. You can just take that out of
No,
the
stop.
context.
Jay
Don't say
Taylor,
it.
that
Don't
is
say
too
it. Don't
far.
say it. Don't say it.
No, it's not. I thought I was happy with it. It's 170 something. It's not too bad.
Jesus.
Not too
100.
bad.
I can't
Not too
back,
bad.
I
I
mean,
can't back number them, the brother.
there's like
But J,
250 odd red
no,
or
but
300 odd leagues.
based off our experience, I think the MLS is ranked maybe just up, just either inside the top 20 leagues in the world or maybe just 21 around there. I wouldn't put them the 50 in all the metrics combined. I'm talking about football playing. You wouldn't agree that because I think we can name 15 leagues that is better than the MLS for facts.
And
And
let me ask Marlon. Marlon, you don't think the Scandinavian, the Danish league is better than the Belgian league? Danish
No,
Super League.
no.
what you not about Bel? You think you're best at
Come
trying?
see, JD has sent me a video of the Belgian league. I'm gonna say
The best,
the Belgian league no hot.
the Scandinavian league is Norway.
Belgian league no
The man
hot,
them said
bro.
in the last 2 years, the Belgian league are one of the best output leagues right now. That's what they must said it right
All
now.
right, let me
Based on
ask
how
anybody on the panel who is the marquee player that's in the Belgian league, like the poster boy for the Belgian league, we can say.
So why it doesn't matter? They have a
No,
No,
lot of
so
quality
we are
players.
worried about poster. Like, listen,
no, but because I believe that all those top leagues have at least 5 or 6 of those players.
But
no,
Jay
but
Taylor,
I think when
Taylor,
JD I say output, he
Taylor.
must say where these players that become poster boys coming from. Most of them coming from the Belgian league. So the
It's a
ones that used to
it's a
turn
feeder. It's a feeder league.
So
absolutely.
me not think him understand what I want. So most of the man we Tillermans and all them and the way you see I play football now.
Where
And
them come
Belgium
from?
them come from.
Space, you think of space them come from?
Belgium them come from,
No, but would you say
Tabastar, the whole them,
MLS is,
Catalan, and the whole them,
but
they are coming
which
from here.
Belgian club has really like competed in the Champions League?
Ghent,
I mean, like
Anderlecht.
they've been to second round and stuff.
Club
Anderlecht,
Brugge, Real
Anderlecht,
Madrid.
Ghent, all of them compete in the Champions
Bruges.
League year in year. And I think even Antwerp are going to compete again because Antwerp never beat Tottenham and them team in the group stage and push them to the end. Every year, Belgian teams got to put. What you tell that about, man?
I just
You not check the facts, brother.
me never see a Belgian league game pop up on my TV. And that's why I wonder where they might play.
Everybody a reason different.
No, me always like you just like you can click the station, me see me see Syria, like La Liga, EPL, even the championship in England. We see them games. Me never see like Belgian soccer like just out there like that as one of the
Okay, all right.
major leagues,
They're trying to do Benna League this time with Netherlands and Belgium come together and just pick all the best teams.
That's
Like
what they
how
need to do. That's what they need to do. They need to do
yeah,
that.
because they were trying to compete with like
So
English Premier League.
Jay Taylor, the MLS is 15th.
15. Let me tell JD, so them in the lower 10th. Like, I don't think they, when
Yes,
me hear Jay Seguna say 54, me I say, I must say FIFA ranking Jay Seguna. Jay Seguna say 54, me I say, come on.
yeah, but
The,
that's what I said.
the Danish league is 16th.
Oh God,
Okay. And
I
what's
thought
what's the Belgian league?
12.
Belgian
Okay,
League
the
higher,
Belgian
man, and
league.
I think
Yeah,
Belgian
12,
League higher than
12.
12 as well because the Scottish Damas League and them league they better.
Mexican Liga MX is 9th. Brazil 8th.
Wow, really?
I
Yeah.
think Belgian League better than Mexican League, so that is not true,
Russian league still at 10th, same way.
Oh God, Russian League
Wow.
got 10th. I think because of war, they might
Because of
Russian
war,
League.
they're in the top 7.
Where send them? You send them at 10th. Not that you say.
Yeah.
So
But
what
they were
list is that?
7th.
What list is that, Marlon?
They were right behind Portugal.
Okay.
Marlon, what list is that? What are you looking at?
Huh?
The top leagues around the world, right?
Yes, but
Yeah,
what
man,
is
that's the
whose
European
list is
coefficient league, right?
No, the World League, no.
The World
Oh, the
League.
World League.
Where
World
the
League.
K League? Where the K League there, Panda?
Which K League? K League, they were down.
Yeah,
that?
okay.
World coefficient, and you're saying that the MLS is 15th.
15, yeah. It's not 54, man. It can't be. Jason going, it's just not possible. There's not so many big leagues around the world for this so far. If
The
you really look at it.
54, I understand maybe with everything apply, but I think
Yeah,
they're not.
because in on the one that I am studying or looking at, they have like the championship ahead of it. Them have other second leagues ahead of MLS. So I don't know
Mhm.
what metric they're really using for the list you're looking at, but it sounds like they're looking at like how many fans go to the games and how much is the budget of the teams. They're
But
not
Jason,
really
I tell
studying the
you,
actual football of the league.
valuation of the league as well.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not factoring in just
I
football.
don't Mexico can leave over Argentina league.
Which one? What's that?
Oh,
MLS is rated over the Argentina league.
and
There you
Argentina
go.
That's not
league
true,
That
used
no,
to
JD.
be
so
a
that show you.
Malan,
That show
me not
you.
agree with that, you know. That me not agree with
That
that, you know.
so
MLS at
JD, that's what
21
I
and
tell you.
22, brother.
You have to pre what kind of list him
no,
are
but the
looking at because that
Argentina league,
list
JD, the Argentina league
J
has
Taylor,
declined.
J
Back in the
Taylor,
day when you have the River
cause you
Plate
have a
and
talk
them
about
team there.
J
poster
Taylor,
boy and all this
J Taylor. Me
foolishness
I tell you,
again.
say, if any Argentina team will MLS team and them slap them up.
Dead.
We are
Yeah,
talking
even
about.
a League One team in England would just thrash the MLS. I don't
No,
see.
No,
that,
that's a
no.
League One team will.
Championship will win games, but not
No,
outright.
League One.
I think
I
a League
know.
One team would just run the table in the MLS night in, night out.
Oh,
I'm
JTL.
telling you, bro.
No.
JD, I'm gonna send you the list when me I talk about. I'm gonna send
Yeah,
all of you the list
come on.
actually, so you can see.
Yeah, the quality of the quality of the
No, JT, like, you go too far. You go too far.
yeah, the quality of the MLS is just not there.
No,
I can't even listen to the commentary, man. The man them sound
No,
like
but
a
that
baseball game.
yeah, but that is why when you watch them game, they just mute it. You don't listen nothing because that will really make you don't want to watch the game. That is
No,
true.
but Jason, it's the same thing. When me get up, I watch see if I play in the early morning. Me don't know much, but me want to see him, so me just go and go.
Yeah.
And when I want to see if I follow, no
Which
chance.
station you
Score.
watch that from, Marlon?
Score.
Jesus. Yo, one thing I have to say now. Big up yourself, Marlon. Big up Jason
Yeah,
Guna.
man.
Big up Rich Reason
Yeah,
God.
man. Me not come back, man. Me
Yeah,
make JT
it
like me,
was
man.
it was one of those nights, guys. Next week, as you know, I'm working at 9 to 5 and we have to survive. So I'm up early in the morning. So the week it's not the pandemic anymore. When I see JT on stream for 6-7 hours, like me not live nowhere. Nowadays, the thing a little bit more organized. I had to even reach out to Mr. Reason Boss himself, Jason Guna, blessings. Everybody, you know, this I don't really tell people to hit the like button. We're not gonna do it this way. You know, JD always tell me that's how I have to build the channel, but I want people to meet me halfway. If you appreciate the content, you should feel free to hit the like button or hit the subscribe button because we're gonna be talking about football over here. So you see, if you look for the gossip thing, them gonna know if you find it. Not over here. We're gonna be talking about football. But like here when Marlon them come on, as me said, Marlon can make any team sound like Real Madrid. Marlon call out some players from Cuba, and I'm like, wow, Cuba might be doing big things, man, but I know they ain't gonna be doing nothing. Cuba is gonna be Cuba when the big dogs roll out. The Jamaicas, the Mexico, the Panamas. Yeah.
Before the Cuban players, they are running off in the US. You know? They have Cubans who are playing in the US. So,
Marlon, all of them are playing the new planet, them with them fine.
Magabal, the new Gold Cup are coming. So we give time for himself.
Marlon, all of them are kick when them rock the name of them over space. All of them are kick some rock where we don't know yet. Then they're gonna be Cuba. This is
Alright.
football. Marlon, that's football, you know. You see,
This is
that's
our
what
confidence in all tournaments, you know, going in here.
Yeah,
JT,
but a while ago, JT Taylor say the big dogs, the Jamaicas, the Mexicos,
no,
the USA.
No, Jamaica has been in the finals. Jamaica has been in the finals.
That's true.
other
You know what I
teams
mean?
been
They
in
have
the
gone to
finals.
two finals.
JT,
They have gone to
other
two finals.
teams been in the finals as well. It's not just Jamaica alone been in the
But no,
finals.
but we call out Jamaica, United States, Mexico,
Okay,
Costa Rica, Panama, the Canadas.
okay.
You
You
know,
put
what
all of
about
them.
the Haitian team?
Haiti
No,
is
him
this.
like Haiti, man. Him disappeared earlier.
No. Haiti. Let me tell you, Haiti is this kid that you have, and the kid show potential that he might be bright at school, but him just now get the grades them on the exam. That's Haiti. Haiti just been showing potential for years, but a BSC and F them a get on the exam.
You
Them
know, so
not.
80 rank higher than Jamaica in a CONCACAF, right?
That's what I say, JD. When them competition come around, ranking no work. You have to go out there and win the game. Everybody know Haiti is this team we've been waiting on. Like Suriname. Haiti and Suriname is these two teams that show flashes. I remember the last Gold Cup, Haiti came through the prelims, right?
Haiti.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
think
came through and they did so well. And I thought Haiti, Haiti, they just look so good when they're going forward with the football. But at some point, they just become Haiti. At some point, they just remind you that
The goalkeeper went to sleep and
yeah,
saying Canada too.
yeah, and now they have civil war in
and
Haiti.
you remember
God knows.
documents problem and them stuff there. We go to the second leg and them stuff there. So Eddie, we think we need to give Eddie some respect, man.
The difference, the difference with this team now, it's a whole different team.
Yeah.
Marlon, the Haiti players, they might lose the first game and run off. That's
Run off.
how they.
No,
Them
man. No,
never
man.
hear
Them man have some
you know,
serious
my
growth.
I saw the Haitian Boston, bro. I'm good. It's a little satire at the end of the show, guys. But yo,
Peru scored what 6 or 7 goals in Champions League,
Haitian too, you know, if you talk, so, you know.
right?
no man, we know the we
Look
always
and
big up Haitians, man.
they have players now, brother. It's not like before.
No, I always big up the Haitians. Haitians, them are my people, man, because we know that they were the first country in the Western world to gain their independence, and we know what they started. We know what the Haitian people represent to us. So when people hear satire,
This Asian team averages what 24, 25. And then the man yesterday last time they have from like 5 players coming back. 2 of the big strikers will give a different defenders headache around.
well, the kicks them are gonna show up this time. Marlon, out of all these teams that you can say, I call them creamy.
Listen to me. I have Mexico and Haiti qualify. I told JD that 2 weeks ago.
But I said that from first.
And you're willing to hang your hat on that, Marlon, that Haiti is coming through now.
That me say,
Yes.
that me say as well. So I don't know where.
You, JD, you're saying Haiti as well.
You never give me no chance to vote on a group out of that. Me say, mind.
Yeah, we never vote that group there. We just did send the result. Then.
All right, let's vote on that group. Just give me the two who is coming through in that group.
Haiti and Mexico.
So Haiti are in the group, JD.
No, Mexico win the group. And
I don't even think Haiti is gonna beat Qatar. No, you know, in the last Gold Cup, Qatar had a good showing. They had a really good showing. They ended up in a shootout though with
United
Panama. I think.
And Panama was 3-3.
With Honduras.
Yeah. Honduras. Yeah.
They defeated Honduras. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I think Panama. I think Qatar. Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, but I think Haiti will be. I think you're sleeping on Haiti. Haiti might just turn over Qatar.
They have a young coach, Jean-Jacques Spear, the former defender. PSG, when PSG was before the revolution.
I say I gotta tell him about the ball and make it think.
Yeah, let me tell you, Marlon is Marlon is my favorite analyst on YouTube.
Check them out.
Yeah, Marlon, one of the first person that met me when me like all night I'm tired and I come off a stream, I go look for players. When me and Marlon say, yo, that player, so I say, whoa, like me even didn't know. Me not like Marlon, like your knowledge on football, bro, like me enjoy hearing you talk about these players. But one thing we do know, football tend to turn out how football turn out. And you see, Haiti though, I will give you guys the benefit of the doubt because Haiti, I've been waiting on them. I've been waiting on Haiti to really just meet that expectation. But something is holding them back. I don't know why. Like they always they peak too early in these competitions for some reason. Their first 2 games, they show flashes and they perform very well, but they fade. They tend to fade. I don't know why. They tend to fade. But guys, I want to thank everybody for joining us again. Yeah. Tomorrow we might do a short stream on something else. But next week we'll come back and finish the semi-final, quarter-final group. Thanks to JD. Thanks to the Reza boss who is an hour behind right now. So it's 12:35 in the Great Britain right now. And Marlon, I don't know which country. Let me know when you're in Copenhagen. Just remember to get the number from JD. And Richard, let me know when you're in Copenhagen as well. We definitely have to link up. It's just an hour and a half from your place. Hit a quick flight over, man, and jump over. Blessings to everybody who passed through. If you enjoy if you enjoy the content, and remember to follow Richard. I watch his short videos in the morning. Sometimes they're very inspiring. They get you up and going, where Richard is just up and ready and kicking off and everything. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight, and hope to see you again. If you enjoy the content, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also remember to follow Rich. Is it Richie Poo Sports?
Rich Poe Sports, RICHPO, Rich Poe Sports, for Rich Power, Rich Poe Sports.
All right. Next time, Rich Power, you have to pin the link in the thing, because we were so invested in the discussion that we just
Will do.
a bit. Next time, we make sure we do that. And thank you again, Richard.
Thank you, JT. Thank you, viewers and subscribers. Peace and love.
Baller Kick up and running. Dr. Joyful, Julie, everybody who came through tonight. LJ, everybody, thank you guys again, man. Really appreciate it. Have a good night, guys. Blessings. I'm out.